Because game time average almost 66. So you'll see that Aurora really like to clump up.
That's weird. I actually thought AE head-to-head and really start to talk about the stats because it's quite interesting because here's the thing, Mirko. I thought AE is actually the one more, more fighting, but according to the stats, it's actually Aurora that does most of the fighting, but we do have to say Alter Ego secures more First Bloods.
Yeah, I think when it comes to aggression, it's just kind of like everybody who's a top team right now needs to have that aggression, needs to be able to go band for band when it comes to those team fights. But what I do want to talk a little bit about and why it's like surprising for Aurora to have such a big hero pool is because they have elevated their game. Coming into the grand finals of MPL Philippines in 16, they were playing just their comforts. Again, Domeng would just be on the Harith, on the Granger, we would see a lot of utility jungle on Demon Kai. But now we are finally seeing Domeng perform on the Freyas, on the Fighter Golds, and that's also the same case for Demon Kai. He's starting to feel the same confidence he felt in MPL Philippines regular season when he was brave enough to pull off the Fanny, when Light was brave enough to pull off the heroes that were just not Hylos and Gato Gacha. And that's what led to Aurora leading in the hero pool department and now actually being able to face Alter Ego.
And that's why I think that this entire meta so far, it's basically blue lock, right? It's about ego. It's about finding the first blood early on. And when we start looking at the first blood rates, technically AE is in favor of those stats. But the mid game, we've seen too many times where AE has a lead, drops in mid game because of one bad fight, and then it evens back out, which is where we see Aurora actually taking the advantage here when it comes down to team fight participation.
And it's very, very different when it comes to the styles because yesterday I would say TLPH, Alter Ego, SRG, they all had similar styles. Again, they're just ultra aggressive. They want to keep on fighting. Aurora, in the same way that Zephyr likes to rage bait, Aurora does the same thing, but by playing slow. Alter Ego keep on going in to a point where when Aurora take it slow, Alter Ego are forced to go in. I remember in the upper brackets, Nino randomly going up in the orange buff, if you remember that. Yeah. It's because he wants to go for these big team fights. He wants to continuously just look for fights.
And that's what we should look for when Aurora play again after a long break, when you're taking into consideration how tight and hectic the M7 World Championship schedule is. Can they take advantage of Alter Ego's momentum? Can they trick the People's Champions into thinking, oh, we're going to fight, we're going to take this to them? Because Aurora's best trick up their sleeves is denying fights, making Alter Ego think that they can take it, switch it up on Alter Ego this time.
I don't gotta say, actually looking at the numbers of how much heroes they've been using out of 15, 18 games, I feel like there will be a discussion, especially on MLBB Academy, like when is about time for us to have some kind of global ban? But again, that's kind of a debate that I feel like I would say at least 500,000 people want to get on and say like, oh, this is my take, this is my take. But hey, I already gave something for you guys to talk about. Now, later on, we're just a few minutes away from inviting both teams over to the stage. And do you feel like this is good or not for Alter Ego, having the Alter champs here cheering them on, Gideon?
Absolutely. We saw what momentum can do to a team, especially when we're looking at sports entertainment, especially within esports itself. Having that kind of energy on home soil brings on a level of patriotism, and knowing that AE can actually use it to sharpen themselves, they just become so different.
I think that as the days go by, more and more people show up for Alter Ego, and the more confident they look and the more reliable they look as well. I think that when you're looking at Alter Ego, the way they played yesterday was just amazing because it was a stark difference between their first series and their second series,
Yeah, I gotta say, it's rare that we actually see this home turf kind of buff really working out. I also want to see whether Aurora will be bothered by it or not, because we know ourselves, like, the Ultra Champs can get very, very loud. Now, with that being said, it does look like all the things are set. So how about we actually throw it over to the stage with our host to start the game. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your hosts, Rose, Glenn, Victor, and Eterna!
16 teams from around the globe have gathered here in Jakarta, Indonesia, to let the world see them rise.
We were witnesses to the best game from the best players.
And even though we're down to the final two, we believe the world has yet to see everything. All those wins.
Teams locking in.
Every single thing is just a lead up to this beginning. Nama ko Eterna.
Nama saya Glenn Victor.
Dan nama saya Rose. We are your hosts and we welcome you to the M7 World Championship Grand Finals. For the second time in M Series history, Indonesia will be hosting the crowning of yet another world champion. And of course, Glenn, as an Indonesian, how do you feel about this?
As an Indonesian, I think it's an honor for us to let the world see the culture of Indonesia and also the passion of its fans and also players.
I see so much culture and tradition here in Indonesia. And of course, Eterna, it's back to your home country. How are you feeling about that?
Feeling very excited. We've seen how the M Series has grown year after year. And I gotta say that the most outstanding thing for me personally is the fans.
I agree. The Indonesian fans are very, very supportive. We see a full house here at Tennis Indoor Senayan. It truly is another remarkable moment. And of course, to celebrate this momentous day with us, allow me to invite Madame Irene Umar, Deputy Minister of Creative Economy, to the stage for a speech.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Indonesia. Can I hear your voice? This, my dear ladies and gentlemen, is the energy of Indonesia. And we open M7 right here. And as the host, I started by saying thank you to M7 team to infuse so much culture into the opening. And today, we stand here today not only as Indonesia, but as fellow esports warrior. We all know that this is a moment to celebrate. This is a moment that reminds each and every one of us that playing games, that the games industry is here to stay. This is a real industry. This is a real sport. And ladies and gentlemen, without each and every one of your support, today will not happen. And in today's final, I am extremely proud that we have an Indonesian team to represent, because this team is no ordinary team. They taught us so many things. Number one, expect the impossible. Expect the unexpected. And you know what? People always say that Alter Ego is a hockey team. It's a team that depends on luck. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? For me, that comes from being humble. Because this is what sportsmanship is all about. Each and everyone here, we do our best in our own capacity, be it we are a team member, a player, a caster, every single one of you in the esports ecosystem, each and every one of us, in front of the screen, behind the screen, we all do our best for the industry that we love. And today, Alter Ego over and over again says that, for me, regardless of whatever the result is, as a fellow esports lover and gamer, not only as the government. For me, the two teams today, and Alter Ego especially, is already a champion. And for me, ladies and gentlemen, it will not be like how it is without each and every one of you. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope the team will play and have fun, give it their best, and bring this stage to life with more than 1 million viewers out there. And thousands of people right here on the stage. Let the world feel the energy of esports and let the game begin.
Terima kasih and thank you once again to Madame Irene Umar as Deputy Minister of Creative Economy. Now, Rose, this iteration of the M Series has been nothing short of iconic. Wouldn't you agree?
You know what, Eterna? this M7 has been a roller coaster ride for many of the regions, and I think we could confidently say it is one of the most unpredictable M series we had thus far.
And you know what the best part is?
What is it?
We have yet to start a new MLBB competitive year. So, ladies and gentlemen, to learn more about the MLBB esports landscape, let's welcome Mr. Faisal bin Homran as Chief Product Officer of the Esports World Cup Foundation.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. My name is Faisal. I'm the Chief Product Officer of the Esports World Cup Foundation, the host of the Esports World Cup, and this year the Esports Nations Cup. I'm super happy to be here. Thank you, Indonesia, Jakarta, Moontoon, for having us. Since launch, MLBB has grown into one of the largest and most influential games in the world. It has become a defining force in the mobile esports. It's all about skill, speed, teamwork, with a community that shows up with real pride and passion. And a community that keeps growing season after season. At the foundation, our purpose is to build platforms that makes esports sustainable and drive long-term growth for players, clubs, publishers, and fans. Everything we do is designed to create opportunity, strengthen pathways, and raise the standards of competition on the world's biggest stages. MLBB at EWC 2026 is one of the most popular titles in the world and a staple of eSport World Cup competition. Between 2024 and 2025, MLBB grew fantastically. The audience grew, the intensity grew, and the game became one of the loudest, most electric parts of the Esports World Cup. In 2025, the Mid-Season Cup was the most watched tournament of the entire event, with 45 million hours watched and 3.2 million peak concurrent viewer. Also, MWI had a great success in 2025. But I'm not here today just to tell you that. I'm honored today, on behalf of Prince Faisal, to announce the MLBB to be the first confirmed title for Esports Nations Cup. Launching in Riyadh, 2026 November, MLBB will be one of 16 world-class titles in ENC, and we are starting with MLBB because it represents the ambition, accessibility, competitive depth that modern esports is built on. The Esports Nation Cup is one of the most important things we are building today because it brings something esports have always been close to, but never fully unlocked the scale at a national pride. So in esports, there is different kind of pressure. When you wear the country colors, the wins feel heavier, the losses feel sharper, the story stays longer. That's what ENC is designed to capture, the moment when esports brings national pride for millions fans, because it stops being about the team you follow and becomes about where you come from. MLBB is already powered an identity and rivalry you can hear in the crowd, you can feel it in the intensity, and you can see it in the way players perform. When everything is on the line, and now together with Moontoon Games, we are bringing it to Riyadh, to the national stage. From the 23rd till the 29th of November 2026, 32 national teams will compete in MLBB on LAN for ENC gold medal. And wanted also to create a pathway and qualifiers. Those qualifiers will be between 14th to 16th of August for all nations that are not directly invited to ENC finals. So starting the ENC game announcement with MLBB feels the right thing. It's a title that brings one of the strongest communities of eSport and the kind of competition that can carry national team story for the very first match. We cannot wait to welcome the world to Riyadh with EWC and ENC and to see what MLBB become when it's played for national pride on a global stage. Enjoy the final. May the best team win. Thank you, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is amazing news and we honestly cannot wait. Once again, thank you to Mr. Faisal bin Horman, Chief Product Officer of the Esports World Cup Foundation. Glenn, don't you think that such exciting road lies ahead of MLBB?
Definitely, Rose. Once I represent Indonesia at the Olympic Games and Physical Asia, all I can say, representing my own country, it will be one of my proudest moments as an athlete.
I can definitely assume so. I've never represented my country at a national scale, but you know what? I think our athletes definitely feel that. And of course, Glenn, we know that Mobile Legends Bang Bang is growing tremendously year by year, and I think it's safe to say that we shouldn't expect anything less. But ladies and gentlemen, to give us an idea on what the MLBB esports and of course the MLBB community has in store for us this coming year, allow me to introduce Mr. Cloud Zhang, CEO of Moonton Games.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm Cloud, CEO of Moonton. First of all, on behalf of Moonton, I would like to sincerely thank Indonesia government and all our partners for the strong support. I would also like to thank your Royal Highness Prince Faisal and all the representatives from the Ministry and the Jakarta City government for being here with us today and for joining us at this important moment. This year is M7 and it also marks the 10th anniversary of MLBB. Over the past 10 years, MLBB has grown into one of the world's top esports events, and it continues to reach new levels of players' engagement and global impact. None of this would be possible without love and support of our fans around the world. Today, I'm very happy to announce that MLBB will join ENC 20th Asian Games Archie Nagoya 2026 and will appear in EWC for the third time. Today, after intense competition, Arena Gaming PH from the Philippines and Alter Ego Esports from Indonesia are standing here on this stage. Let us look forward to an exciting final match. Next, this visa will show you MLBB Esports key plans for 2026, as well as our content plans across 5 major regions.
The faith of MLBB rising up and putting the key. Yes, the GOAT. It is Carl TZ.
Let's rewind how far we've come since last year. Before Carl TZ became the face, there was TLPH's dominance in MPL Philippines. With Skylar's and iconic ID's lineup, they secured their 8th MPL Indonesia title. Monumental breakthroughs followed for MENA and China. MSC made history, breaking benchmarks and introducing new faces to the global stage. M6 birthed an unbeatable monster as Onyx PH claimed the world crown. At the same time, 4 top regions rose to global glory. Looking back, we spotlight 2 aura-farming moments, the GOAT, Carl TZ, and the Mother of Tank, Vivian. 1 game, 2 champions. Different journeys, 1 shared inspiration. Anyone can rise. That inspiration proved women's limitless potential in esports as Turkey's women's tournaments rose and Cambodia's Queen League shined. From the Snapdragon Pro Series to the Oppo Smooth Legend Cup, this journey leads us toward one mission: esports for everyone. As MLBB evolved, renowned organizations joined the family. A platform that shaped champions and turned players into global names.
So, what's next? Are we looking forward to the future?
Let's go.
Years of MLBB, 70 nations, 5,000 tournaments, 600 million hours of belief. As we step forward, our ecosystem moves with purpose, built across regions, nations, and cultures.
Malaysia steps into a new era.
MPL Malaysia enters a new era. 8 teams built on trust and true partnership. MSC MWI returns to Saudi Arabia, bringing the world together a $3.5 million prize pool, massive arenas, global stage. The ENC begins, connecting international regions into a stronger competitive ecosystem. MLBB steps onto the world sporting stage at the 2026 Asian Games in Nagoya. The year unfolds by the master plan. A global calendar takes shape. We kick in with M7 in January. MPL runs March to June, then August to December. MSC and MWI ignites in July. Asian Games concludes in October. The year continues with ENC in November. MCT tournaments land December before M8 opens 2027.
Wow! We're my part of the journey now.
5 regions, one connected timeline. From Southeast Asia, where champions gather. Across EECA, where dark horses rise to challenge kings. From EMEA, new forces, new contenders. East Asia, waves of new faces. Across AMER, North and South America united, returning with even greater expansion. In 2026, the MLBB Championship Tour will kick off with these 3 regions: Americas, East Asia, and Southeast Asia. MLBB has risen beyond borders, across regions, nations, and cultures. Now, on the world stage, not following the global game, but leading it, MLBB stands global, driving mobile esports to its next peak.
It's my great honor to announce that the M8 wildcard will be held in Thailand in 2027, and the M8 Grand Finals will take place in East Temple. Now, let us turn our eyes onto the stage and enjoy this global sports celebration together. Thank you.
Our last M Series 1 was so disappointing. We felt the pain of an early exit.
There was only one thing on my mind when we left. Redemption.
Apa yang dulu hanya mimpi, kini bukan lagi sekedar mimpi.
Kami datang ke sini menyerahkan segalanya pada takdir dan keberuntungan. Tanpa adanya ekspektasi, hanya membawa satu hal, harapan dan mimpi Indonesia.
Reaching M7 was only the beginning.
This M7 is unforgiving. More ruthless, more intense than ever. From the Swiss stage through the knockouts, they earned their place here.
Napalaking bagay, pag nakuha namin yung championship ng 7, magtutuloy-tuloy yung winning streak ng Pilipinas.
Soalnya kan kita Indonesia selalu dianggap kayak kita di bawah Filipina kan. Mungkin kita akan mengubah statement itu sih.
Kita juga udah jadi tuan rumah di Indonesia dan aku pengen bawa Trigo dan bawa Indonesia ada di Piala Dunia lagi.
Since day one, every team came here with a shared dream. Many dreams were shattered, but not their will.
I think the player that failed the most in MLBB is me.
Whenever I lose, I strive to do better. It's what keeps me going.
We wanted to bring Malaysia's name really on top for.
ผู้ไหนงานแล้วชมมีได้แต่ feeling อะไรหรอแต่งานนั้นมันต้องเลี้ยงมีเอา feeling อะไร
The fire in our players to win an M series won't fade.
The final two carried battle forward onto the grand stage.
To rise as one and let the world see us. This time, we don't fall short. This time, we finish it.
Ini segalanya yang kami miliki. Inilah alasan kami bertarung.
Setiap rintangan menguji kami, namun tak satu pun menghentikan kami. Semuanya justru membuat kami lebih kuat.
Let's make the grand final interesting.
Yang pantas akan menjadi pemenang.
Let's put up a fight.
Tonight, we fight for the title.
Edward Nino! Next we have the Raw matchup, Playz! In the mid-lane duel! He's the jungle battle! Demon Kai! Yasuke! And finally, the gold lane standoff, Golden Kai, RP! Aurora Gaming versus Alter Ego. Let the world see the M7 World Championship Grand Final!
It is our honor to welcome Indonesian national team goalkeeper Nadio Agawinata as he represents the coach of both teams, Master the Basics and Dexter of Aurora Gaming Philippines, as well as Zephyr and Sticks of Alter Ego Esports alongside our head referee, Gary. We assure you that the M7 Grand Final will be conducted with the highest standards of professionalism and fairness. Now, ladies and gentlemen, both finalists are on the stage. Are you ready? And now, let the Grand Finals begin!
Good luck to both our competitors up on the stage. Through blood, sweat, and tears, they are here to represent for one goal and one goal only.
No matter what happens today, the storyline will be good. It's Aurora trying to escape the allegations that has been given to them. They were called chokers so many times, but this time they have another chance to prove it in the grandest of stages, the world of MLBB.
Again, thank you our casters for the introduction. Here it is again, Edward, Demon Kai, UA Light, as well as Domin Kai. These are names you heard so many times, but again, they haven't become the champions of the world just yet. We'll see this time, can they finally do it?
Mr. Consistent looks like he's trying to change it all. 100% win rate on Yuzong, Arlet, Sora, a whopping win rate for an upper bracket run.
And then you're looking at Demon Kai, who has really varied choices of his junglers. 80% win rate when it comes to Fredrin, as he played it 6 times, but 100% win rate when it comes to the Baxia. And then you have your Akai that he picks up, only picked up 1 time, but actually won with it because it was really good in the draft. Then you compare that to Domin Kai. Oh my goodness. Number 1, when it comes to kill participation among gold laners at 68.5%. It's like a quarter, like 3/4 of the time, he will always be in that fight.
And that's exactly what you want from the new and involved, improved Aurora Gaming PH. However, there are competitors on the other side. These guys make me lose words. Professor X gets into you. They know how to get underneath your skin with Nino, Yasuke, Hijime, Alec, and Arfi.
At this point, this is the Indonesians' hope. They are the Indonesian champions, man. The story that they bring. I gotta say, seeing Codell many times saying over and over and over how proud he is of these boys. And now they're here in the grand finals, one step away from bringing glory back to Indonesia.
There was a time when Nino was always doubted in the region, right? I was able to talk to some of the Indonesian players. Even Mirko said that there was a story where Nino was actually not even considered as one of the better players and all, like not even just ex-players, as players in general in MPL. But here he is, the darling of MPL Indonesia, the darling of MLBB in the world right now. Everybody's looking at him because how he performs so well. He's #1 when it comes to the KDA, when it comes to kills and GPM as the explainer. How about that?
This matchup has been predestined. We've been waiting for a moment like this where we see a grand finals. No champions involved, just runner-ups looking for the grandest prize.
And look at that, the trophy stands in front of them. All 10 players. They're gonna compete against their opponents, but the trophy is just there. It's close enough for you to reach. But again, for 5 these players in front of them, 5 more players are gonna stop them, are gonna crush their dreams. This is gonna be a best of 7, and ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys vote in the chat. Who do you guys think will win game #1 in this best of 7, man? I gotta say, I wanna see who has the more stamina, because Alter Ego yesterday, they showed they don't mind playing 8 games.
If there's one thing that we've learned about the meta so far, you win the early game and it's just pure oppression from 2 high caliber teams. A single mistake could flip the entire table on its head. But if this is a best of 7, I'm expecting some dominating matches, not only from AE, but also Aurora.
It's interesting that you said that, because my prediction for this particular series is that surely it will go long in a way that it will have like 6 or 7 games. But the games will be one-sided. And I'm only saying that because of the nature of the drafting right now. You saw how Alter Ego performed against SRG. And when they do nail that drafting, they make sure that they will win at the early stage of the game. And thus, you have, 12 and 14-minute games. And I think that is expected within the two of these teams, because I feel like their priority is to win in the early stages itself. So it's like they want to win in the first 5 minutes. That's why they will draft for lineups that will win in the first 5 minutes. That's why I think snowballing, because of the drafting pattern of both teams, will happen so many times in the series.
And honestly, that's why I feel like we're going to be impressed here, because I agree with you. The draft will dictate that the game will end early, maybe 11, 12 minutes, but we've seen the tenacity of many different teams here in M7. They'll figure out a way to delay the game all the way to 27. In fact, we had the longest game in M series history here in M7. So honestly, I'm looking forward to see, this draft should not go all the way to 20, 30 minutes, but I think both these teams can make it possible.
I think this is going to be an absolutely disgusting game of rock, paper, scissors in the draft, right? We saw the way that Aurora took on AE in the drafting phase. Yes, technically, we've seen many teams, if there's nothing wrong, don't fix it. And yet Aurora makes slight permutations, slight alterations to keep AE on their toes in a best of 5 series. Yet alone, we go into that best of 7. We've already seen AE push all the way to the edge. When Yasuke's got nothing left to play, he still has a pick in mind. And I think that Aurora is going to look to force him back into that corner.
We can really see that there's a lot of focus on the drafting of both teams. Then we also have to look at the execution of the players themselves. Nino and the gang, they have been on fire yesterday. They have been considered as a team that is inconsistent when it comes to closing out games. They will make some bad plays eventually, and that might cost them the game. But that is also very true for Aurora. I feel like, though, in the grand finals, especially because it's a best of 7 series and everything is literally on the line, both teams might be more conservative on how they approach this game. That's why maybe let's not expect both Alter Egos and Aurora to make those kind of mistakes. I think they will be more safe. Might mean that the games might be slow because of that, but I think that it's just that the teams that we have today will be so careful the way they play a game.
Let me just say M7 is the time of Leo Moore, because during the Swiss stage, it only won 3 times and then lost for 6. But here in the knockout stage, only losing 9 games but winning 13. The Freya is even more incredible during the Swiss stage. Unbeaten, 4 wins. And a knockout stage, 12 wins and 6 losses. This is why I love every iteration of tournament. The meta always changes. And here, having Leomorn and Freya as well. Freya has been changed how many times and never been competitively viable? But now here she is.
It's strange because when you asked us, when we were talking about this last year, where EXP felt dead, where it felt like an absolute brick wall, slight changes gave us a lot of hope for these damaged EXP laners. What I would have never imagined is when these fighters came back into the meta, through the jungle, through the gold lane. What a weird place we are in the world.
I think it's because the teams have tried to beat each other. Like, you know, it's like you implement this meta, for example. Let's say Freya Leomord. And then teams will just try to kind of defeat that by drafting. Maybe getting Esmeralda, for example. Or maybe getting a Sora in the gold lane eventually to fight that Freya whatsoever. Then eventually people who will try to outplay that Sora will get the Esmeralda or something. It's a cycle, you know? The Valentina will be there. So there's like just an evolution of picks in specific parts of the drafting stages.
Something that you can see, man, here in MLBB, the front lines will always be amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, we're jumping into the first round of this grand finals, and it's gonna be Flying Clouds with Aurora Philippines first pick and Alter Ego in the second. And look at Alter Ego already going for those direct bans, banning on the Baxia and the Khalid. Aurora, amazing ban on that Freya, but this does not scream the Leomord first pick?
It kind of does, but at the same time, we don't know where Aurora is going to put their priorities. At the same time, they can open up with a Sora if they wanted to, if AE lets it go. And at the same time, as much as I love the Leomord, one of the few matchups that I think that Leomord is great at specifically is when it's up against the Yi Shin. The timings is just so awkward for the YSS.
But the Jushin is open for Aurora, although there is an Eve that Alter Ego can pick. I think that most teams are just so comfortable picking up the Jushin, and Aurora is not a team that will pass up on that. However, with the Leomord being open, like I said, it could be the opening here for Aurora. Now, that's the Jushin. Now, Alter Ego, they're that kind of team that when they ban the backshot, they know that you will get Uranus here. I think Leomord and Uranus is the opening for Alter Ego because they know that Lunox or any kind of Shredder, including the backshot, will no longer be available to counter that Uranus.
With that in mind, why not go for Esmeralda instead of the Uranus?
Well, they do have that kind of, they do have that variation. Sometimes they combo the Uranus with the Esmeralda, in fact. But it actually happened before.
All right.
It's going to be, instead, this is a different iteration of the pattern of Alter Ego. This is what makes Zephyr really amazing because even with this kind of pattern that you already laid down, there is always a variation to it. Now, Aurora, that's immediately a harem.
Wow, this is a really incredible read coming in from AE's side. Their own opener, knowing that they're expecting some sort of traditional marksman in the gold. You know what? Let's force you to at least take the Purify. But that does leave, you know, a lot to be said. Fredrin, 100% win rate coming in from Demon Kai. Why would you let that through knowingly as AE locks in the Phobius?
Because they are prepared for it. They will pick up the Phobius to counteract the potential explainer coming out from Aurora because they will just ban out the counters to the Phobius. For example, the Esmeralda, or maybe pick that up. Oh no, they will not pick it up. And also because they know that it is also an answer to the Harris potentially. Phobius in the Expedite with the Kalea, and then maybe a Farsa as their fourth pick. It makes it so that their first turtle is so strong up against the Fredrin.
Now let's talk about the upcoming mid-trio, because I'm already seeing Cho getting banned out for the side of AE. The fact that they also got rid of the Khalid in the very first phase does give me an idea that AE want to fight for the mid lane somehow. They know that they could get Eve later down the line, but they've waited so long for it, allowing Aurora to potentially ban it.
Yeah, that's right.
Gentlemen, can I just say I'm very happy that we're opening up where both teams are kind of playing to their comfort, playing to their own play style, because Aurora, I would say 100% win against SRG when they go for utility jungle, and now Alter Ego, even the first opening here, they're already showing the willingness to fight and picking up this Claude again, the pick that was able to beat Team Liquid Philippines.
Okay. Now, I'm actually not going to be surprised if the chip is going to be banned by Alter Ego. There it is. It's such a good ban because I think you would think that maybe the Hylas is a better ban or maybe a Badang because of their composition. But Aurora have shown that they are willing to pick up the chip. And with Fredrin, with Jushin, and Harrit, you can easily activate those heroes, and chip will be a difficult matchup if ever they prefer. So this is a smart ban.
It's taking away multiple different angles to actually engage in these fights. And personally, for me, I think it's a better option because Hylos and as well as Gatot are very straightforward. They're kind of linear style of roamers in comparison to Chip and Cho.
Oh, they're forcing the Farsa, but Alter Ego might just go for Lunox here.
honestly, even Farsa is not bad. Having that Kalia can kind of give you quite a lot of tempo in early. In fact, you don't even have to rush it, right? You can pick up your jungler, but if your jungler is going to be something that Zephyr really wants to surprise us again, yeah, you could just pick up your mid here. Either Farsa or Lunox works well because you have a Kalia.
Farsa is the safest option, obviously. Now, Aurora will not pick up the Yuzhong anymore. I think they will just go for the Lapu-Lapu because it just makes sense, right?
So much safer.
So much safer, but you also have that option of the Esmeralda.
Oh wait, no, Arlet is still available.
That's,
oh yeah.
But up against the Phobias?
Yeah, but against Farsa and Claude, right?
I think it boils down to the question, Edward, do you want to win the lane? Can we trust you enough to hold out in the lane till we get to the mid game where we can actually utilize you in bigger team fights?
Yeah, I think the Arlet, maybe the Uranus can also be picked up, but
or CC.
The Lapu-Lapu is the best option here.
They need damage. They need that bridge for the turtle fights.
So that should be Lapu-Lapu. And
Yuzhong is still open.
Hylos perhaps for light.
They can go Hylos or Gaton. Kind of depends on what they want. Disengage or something more to fight. Good call, Wolf. Good call.
Now, if you're Alter Ego, you're going to be looking for your jungler now. Up against the Fredrin, you usually think about the Akai, right? Akai's good.
It's not bad.
Or Guinevere, actually. But what if they go Suyo? There's not much magic damage from the other sources, but apparent, of course, in the early game.
But they do have a lot of CC, which is why I'm a little concerned about this, right? Does that mean that if we go for Suyo, we just have to omit, you know what, we're not going to go for the neutrals until Lords, we're looking to get advantages in lane.
Just win early, right? But they pick up the Nolan instead. So again, this is Alter Ego saying like, we got somewhere to be, guys. Let's end the game very, very fast. What do you feel about the draft for Aurora?
I think it's pretty even. There's a slight advantage for Alter Ego.
Well, what about you, Gideon?
I don't know. I think that it's a little more lopsided than that. I think that Aurora definitely is going to be slower in the early stages of the game, but if they keep it tight, I think mid-game it's pretty easy for them.
You know what? I'm very sorry to the stats on screen, but I legit don't care because at this point, there's something that you can't calculate, and that's the player spirit here using all their favorite heroes. So, ladies and gentlemen, now that the draft has finished up, this is game number 1 of this grand finals. Gonna be flying clouds. So now we're gonna be throwing it over to our casters, Leo, Trex, and Mirko.
It's time to write the first chapter in the revelation that is this grand final. Ladies and gentlemen, Aurora Gaming Philippines from the upper bracket, Alter Ego from the lower, doing the nigh impossible, now stand on the grand stage.
All right, taking a look at this draft, we have a new pick, at least from last series and all of yesterday. We haven't seen Yasuke on this Nolan yet, and he's gonna bring it up in game number 1. This is all about feeling each other out in a best of 7.
But we have seen a similar pick to this, the Suyo, something that wants to go fast and something that is very Alter Ego.
And they're going down memory lane. There was a time where Nolan was in the metagame alongside Suyo. So it's clear that Coach Zephyr, Professor X's needs and foresight are coming through. Quick peek at the emblems if you plan on playing Nolan in this current metagame. There's not much really changing here. Oh, quick start mid.
Yep, just a little bit more damage over on Yue. Alec blocking the passive constantly, getting the sustain over to Hijume.
I mean, well done already. We're seeing the aggression in the mid, but still nobody goes down. Demon Kite on this Fred run. I mean, Aurora Gaming, I feel like their draft, they just keep it so simple. They keep it very Aurora Gaming PH. And if they win with this, it's a very good start from them because they don't have to change too much up. It's their style.
It's getting full from a basic breakfast or like a little glass of milk, a cup of coffee, if you will. Alter Ego, though, they're flexing how deep their hero pool goes. Could have sworn they were going to go utility as well since there is a good combo in Hijume and Alec, and then they can bank on Arfi, but Yasuke, the hero pool on this young man.
Yeah, and this is what we were kind of teasing about in the pre-match, right? We were talking about how Alter Ego, they want to go fast, but Aurora Gaming Philippines, they know how to play slow. They know how to slow the tempo down all the way to a point where Alter Ego makes mistakes. And already they're setting up, but look. Already Dark Wave coming in. Demon Kite taking down the Fracture and all in. The Light coming in for the re-engage. Yue pops in Crimson Beacon, able to get a Lantern Flare. Edward jumps in now with the Brave of Spider. It's going to be Nino in the back line as Edward.
Yue taking a lot of damage, might just go down here.
Alec will take a few shots. Nino! With in front of pursuit, now jumps again. Another jump forward, but now he's caught in a bad place. Has another proc of the in front of pursuit. Will be able to go for the jump again and again. Takes a turret shot and gets shanked by Demon Kite as Yasuke moves to the purple buff.
A speedy response from Alter Ego, just as speedy as their start was. Demon Kite with a clutch take, didn't even use retreat.
Alter Ego start things off fast. They do win out in kills. It's still the first turtle on the map though. Yasuke tries to take a different path. Not getting that purple means they didn't get too much out of that trade.
Yep, flickers were used, and now we're jumping over Turtle 1.
Nino in the back going in for US. Yasuke's gonna be taken very low by Edward. He's gonna go for the stun. Glorious Pathway coming down as the turtle was already secured by Demon Kite, but now it's gonna be Nino all alone. Crimson Beacon and Lantern Flare picking him up. He's trying to go for the pursuit. Dark Wave by Nino. Jumps over on Edward. Gets another proc, but will be slain by Edward.
Alec has to get out of here with a Tsunami Slam. Looking for the escape.
Alec cannot escape. There was a lantern on him and a big horse.
A little too early for El Padre to be pushing their limits. Again, this is a Phobius. You need some modicum of items built to be able to do that.
Luckily, Yasuke, though, keeps on getting out of these fights. As long as Yasuke stands tall, they have a chance in future neutral objectives. All the games that we saw last time, when they lost, Yasuke had a bad game, so it's huge to keep him on 1-0.
You're alluding to his game on the Fanny, the clincher against SRG. I could have sworn, watching that too, we're going all the way. But here, I agree. Yasuke needs that same amount of patience. Sure, he hasn't got punished yet, hasn't died, but if you want to take it to Aurora Gaming, you have to play the slow game.
And this is the thing about the Nolan. You actually shouldn't be contesting a neutral objective early. Yes, if there are real situations where Nino can actually zone Demon Kite, then take it. But now they're going to go for the dive in the bottom lane. Alec, flicker in, Tsunami Slam, Fracture come down, and all in over on Edward. And it's a pick down below, but look at the response from Aurora Gaming. Glorious Pathway.
Arfi just needs to go home at this point. He's got to get out of here. The BMI, the Blazing Duet.
Cancelled out now, the pickup and the throw down back. But again, it's Light who takes the kill.
Could have gone better for Aurora, but macro-wise, the trade is good. It's an XP laner for a gold laner. Well, are my eyes damned? Is that an orange steal from Yasuke?
It seems, no. Demon Kite has the orange buff.
Okay, so that's all the way from his own.
Yep.
All right, so still, the trade stands. That's what's holding Aurora Gaming's 500 gold lead. It's the trade for the Lapu Lapu for the Claude. It's not a good start for Arfi.
I will say this, though. That getting the trade in the EXP lane does even things out between Edward and Nino. Nino already took 2 deaths, so that makes Nino a little more helpful in these future fights.
Jump over on Alec from Edward. Bravest fighter already used up, but Demon Kite is on the turtle, and Yasuke doesn't seem interested. Now is Light. Gets caught with a passive, but that's about it. It's free for Aurora. Arfi, Blazing Duet up top.
That's an ult for an ult in the gold lane. So far, Aurora Gaming have bridged their early game. They figured out, hey, we can be this. I'm holding my hands out about 6 inches apart. This aggressive against Alter Ego, but not anymore because AE, they're willing to fight. A little bit of pressure, Tsunami Slam!
The lockdown now with Hijime going for the stun as well. Big bonk, Alec gonna be taking it now. Good taunt coming down as Nino rotates and flanks him on the other side. It's in front of Pursuit to take him down as Yasuke goes in with a Helmet of Dark Wave from Nino over on Yue with the Crimson Beacon. Gets him to safety and now they go back to the mid lane.
So 2 down on the side of Aurora Gaming. A tower does go into the hands of Aurora Gaming, but Alter Ego are getting away with pushing this aggression in the early game.
Nino not letting the early stumbles take over. Once bitten, never shy. El Padre pushing forward. Demon Kite finds Yasuke, but again, that's what you get with a Nolan. You get mobility, you get burst, and ladies and gentlemen, look at this crowd just outside Tennis Indoor Sinai.
GG.
That's why we call MLBB our national sport. At this point, it might just be, dude. Everybody in Indonesia has finally come through.
All right, so taking a look at the items, Arfi only about 360 gold behind, and when we finally have marksman gold laners like this, they are going to be very important in the first, second lords, those big fights that ultimately matter. Starlium Sight does lock in for Demon Kite in the jungle. Even with the 2 deaths on Demon Kite, Yasuke isn't too far ahead.
And just to put this into context, being a tank jungler, you don't need that much farm. So that just spells how slow the farm is for Yasuke. He clears waves much, much faster than Demon Kite. So this is a slow start for Yasuke.
Oh, Right. In the bush, Arfi's gonna try to go for the cancel supervision and all in coming down. Arfi blazing into West. Tsunami Slam based on the Purify. They get the kill on Doming. Onto Arfi. Turtle up top though is the response from Aurora.
I don't know how worth it is to trade your gold laner for the turtle. I'm sure Aurora saw that a mile away.
Yeah, that's a big win for Alter Ego. Plus, big chance of getting this tower on bot as Alter Ego blocks off Light and Yue to try to get down to save it.
Trades all over, and so far, I think Alter Ego have won the past couple. That puts Aurora Gaming in a weird position. The one lane that they for sure won, that gold lane, they just lost.
Yeah, but the thing is Aurora Gaming's okay with a 500 gold deficit, right? They're okay with a 1,000 gold deficit. The whole point of this strategy here is to buy time till around 9-10 minutes, wait till a couple Lords where they can beat you out in macro and in big grouped up team fights.
What you're saying is slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Exactly.
So getting there is an inevitability. It's up to Alter Ego to force Aurora to stumble, and that's why Aurora's backing off.
Nami's on the glorious pathway again. Yue able to go for Crimson Beacon, flicker out from Heejummer, but gets picked up and thrown back to the phrase. Light goes in with Edward, but all I can say is sustain. Arfi into the backside with a blazing duet. This big bonk on him. Now the fracture coming in from Yazuki to take Domin. Kaitanis Nito continues to jump back and forth. Infernal pursuit, but now it's Yue to lock him down. He goes for one last one, but Edward cuts him down.
Ay caramba, El Padre falls, and Yasuke instead goes for the purple. Demon Kite reciprocates.
Trade for trade, purple for purple, but for the first time, Aurora Gaming gets a huge win on that team fight. They turn it into a tower as well.
AE seems to have met their match. An unspeakable amount of aggression, unparalleled target acquisition, met with an Ube lineup that breaks through your box. This is the unboxing strat that Wolf often talks about. Aurora Gaming, the way their lineup works is, it's just ungodly amounts of crowd control that the back line just can't even come in. Heejumé just popped like that.
Big Sky Piercer pickup there, and every time Light sees the feathered airstrike, he just starts running at him.
That's a straight line.
Straight line.
All right, so from here, taking a look at these gold laners once again, still at about a standstill. 2 items for 2 items. I think the question is, you know, normally the Claude has been so much better in terms of things, but Doming on the Harith, he's his own breed at this point.
Yep, and that's the thing. When it comes to Arfi, he's good on the marksman, but he's not great. He's great on the Freyas, on the fighters as well. And you can clearly see Arfi, he got canceled in that fight. He went in way too early, and now Aurora's holding the turret, the Lord.
Dance has begun. Alter Ego making their move, the conceal from Alec.
You know, walking up at Edward, doing the same thing now with the help of Glorious Pathways. The Tsunami Slam is able to lock Edward down, but now look at the damage on Heejumé. It's Edward in the back with Light.
And now Yasuke goes down as well. Alec all on his own.
You know, jumping to the back line now, trying to go for the Infernal Pursuit, but again, it's going to be Doming, Kai, and Yue going for the damage. Doming doing enough to take Nito down with the help of Yue.
Alter Ego struggle in these situations where they're not the aggressors, they're not the predators, they're not in control. Aurora Gaming on the flick of a dime go for the heart of their lineup, and that's what led to this massive win.
Alter Ego already down to inhibitors on the mid side. Aurora Gaming just punching a straight line with the Lord coming soon.
It's been a while since we've seen a carry Lapu-Lapu, but that is what Edward is right now.
Thanks.
Mr. Consistent, consistently finding Heejumé, compromising Arfi. The one combo you have, Tsunami Slam into either of these carries should do it. That's what's making Yasuke's job so hard is, how do I clean up? What do I clean up?
I think the big thing for Alter Ego in past games is they're able to last it up. Wait a second.
There we go. That's a big charge from the Lord at the mid lane. They crack it open with no response from Alter Ego. Arfi taking a big portion of that damage. Dark Wave landing on 3, but there's no damage currently. And Aurora have had enough. They crack open the base turret, and now it's back to the systematic Aurora.
They smelled something was fishy there. No vision on Yasuke. Where is he hiding out? They decide, all right, we got what we came for. That's a huge win already this early. Let's back off.
This is a moment wherein our good friend Joseph would say they got their head on a swivel. They don't need to see Yasuke, but the fact that they don't see him
means they see him.
Should be a signal, yeah, that
they know where he's at.
They're
not at the base.
They sniffed him, and now Yasuke commits Grand Theft Purple, guilty of 1 charge. Heejumé forced to use the feathered airstrike just to clear mid. As
Light.
Aurora just flush out the jungle. All right, spots him, drops that glorious pathway. Heejumé just wings by wings out.
At this point, it's a mind game from Light, dude.
And at this point, they're farming each other's purples. I think that's like the third one to just go to opposite sides.
Cross-jungling.
Cross-jungling, exactly.
Light here gets that stun on Alec. Even Alec isn't having the greatest time. A majority of the targets that he can hit will either purify or would love to be in the center of Alter Ego's lineup.
All right, so taking a look at these items one more time. Yasuke's been farming his mind off, essentially. He's still ahead of Demon Kite, even with the gold deficit. His goal has been get your items up.
But him being ahead by 100 isn't where he wants to be. Again, tank items, ladies and gentlemen, are significantly cheaper than damage items. So he wants to be like 1,000, 1,500 up. Because look, Demon Kite's Fredrin already has Athena Shield, Anti-Cuirass, Brute Force Breastplate. This is all he needs.
I would even go further, Leo. I feel like a 1,000 gold lead won't even cut it against a Fredrin on a Nolan. You need to be ahead by at least 2,000.
A full item.
A full item. And that's usually how it is when we see the Yi Sun-Shin against a Fredrin, Nolan against a Fredrin, the splash clearers.
And that's what Aurora Gaming is doing so well here in game number 1. Not only are they winning head-on initiations, but they're able to find resources to take away from Yasuke. Light counter the initiate.
Yep. Now it's going to be the disengage from Nino. He goes for the Dark Wave, landing it onto, but now Edward forced to fight. That's good. Tsunami's time to cancel out the last portion of the Raging Slash. Big bomb from Demon Kite, and Edward cuts him down again. He's on a killing spree.
Yasuke still in the jungle, gonna try to lock on.
That ain't it. He got taunted by the Demon, and Domeng takes him down.
Yue and Domeng Kite are good targets, but not when there's two chunky boys next to them. Make it 3, a half man, half horse.
And that's the way that Aurora Gaming is approaching every single one of these fights. Everyone just huddles around Demon Kite and Light. Because if anyone tries to catch Domeng and if anyone tries to catch Yue, the taunt comes in. The little bonk from Hylos comes in.
We've come full circle, ladies and gentlemen. The last time Edward was on this stage, in this arena, not a single game he won. And he's just moments away from correcting that historically.
4-1-6. Man has performed. Oh, wait a second. This is a classic Alter Ego move. Whenever the enemy gets a lord, they go to look for the pickoff, but can they take Edward down? Tsunami's time coming down with the burst damage of Ijume, and Edward will have the immortality, actually. I think that's enough to get him out, and Edward does survive. Now he goes back in with a helmet Demon Kite. Meanwhile, light of the back line with Yue jumping in as Domeng goes for the base. What is him on force already? Yasuke getting rid of Yue, but Domeng Kite's gonna be all over the place. Yue comes in from RP!
Nino also trying to block it off as Yasuke works on the Lord.
Nino's all alone, now against 4. He's jumping ready for a pursuit. He's so tanky, but again, he's constantly jumping in as RP does a lot of damage. Dark Wave coming in from Nino, but Domeng takes him down.
The minions are cleared, but one more wave against the base.
They're gonna go straight for it. No nonsense. Aurora take game 1.
Surgical and clean. Aurora knows which fights to take, and Alter Ego have met their match. Game 1 goes to the Northern Lights.
Hopefully at this point some lessons were learned from both sides, but mostly from Alter Ego. If they're gonna ban the Freya, you might just have to start banning the Fredrin. You might have to respect the other team as well.
And you gotta feel for RP in that situation. He went Claude, he's like, all right, do I go Purify or Flicker? Why would I go Purify? The only guy that can cancel me is Demon Kite on Fredrin. And we got a Phobius, we have a Barca, we have ways to stop him from going in, but then Demon Kite just says, yeah, nah.
What a rude awakening for last night's multiple-time MVP winner, Arfi. This is one way to realize I'm not a great marksman. I'm pretty good, but not great. What else do Alter Ego have up their sleeves?
Well, one thing's for sure, they cannot give the Claude over to Domeng.
All right. At this point, definitely don't give it to Domeng. Definitely maybe start thinking about the Fredrin. But let's see what the panel has to say about it. An amazing first game, guys.
I would say it's a perfect way to open up the grand finals. And gentlemen, the thing that I've noticed now, after the first game of this grand finals, the whole story about M7 is your identity. The teams that figure out and stick to their identity will eventually win. And those that betray themselves will start to lose. Here, Aurora, again, bringing that utility jungler looks absolutely amazing. And so far, Arfi is the best when it comes to fighters in the gold lane. I think it's still pretty good on the Claude. But again, I kind of feel like at this point, either Alter Ego really needs to respect this strat coming in from Aurora and figure out a way to deal with it, or they just got to figure out their own identity and somehow give a fighter over to Arfi.
Well, I don't think they're moving too far away from their identity. I don't know if you'll agree with me, Wolf, but I think a lot of this game just boiled down to dividing and conquering in the earlier stages of the game. But I think Light, as the point guard, making clear decisions for the rest of the team. Hey, let's stop the feathered airstrike. I saw at the peripheral vision of my minimap, Yasuke moving over to that purple buff. We can defend it if we don't waste too much time.
I will never argue against that identity of Aurora because I think it is the identity of Aurora. They actually have been so masterful with it. Maybe the only reason why this is not looking good for Alter Ego or giving it up is not going to be good for them for the entire series is because of the fact that they can make mistakes when up against this kind of composition. For Aurora, all they have to do is to play the game as it should be played. And that's exactly what they did. They punished the side of Alter Ego when Alter Ego tries to go for an over-aggressive play. Remember the play in the bottom lane where they did get important kills, or Alter Ego did, but they eventually got traded out. Kills after kills after kills, like -1 every minute. It all becomes, it all piles up, and then all of a sudden, you're no longer in control of the game.
And look at this, the MVP by Realme, our official gaming phone. 3-1 and 10, it's Light coming in from Aurora, Philippines, and again, absorbing a lot of damage. And as amazing as Claude is, I actually do like the introduction of the Chastise Pauldron into the tank items, because I feel like it is an item that took a while for a lot of players to warm up to, but now you can see quite a lot of players actually don't mind rushing this item. Even if you think the opponent is not like an attack speed hero, you would be surprised against opponents that even if they don't have attack speed, it does matter a lot.
Oh, it matters so much. That passive is disgusting, especially when you have like a slight lead in the earlier stages of the game. It feels like you're unkillable. Yeah. So a lot of these moments, as we see them actually fight, right, comes down to, does Hijime have his ult or not? Can Light actually look to cancel it out? Because as soon as Hijime loses that important ultimate, Yue can do whatever he wants, right? He doesn't need his ult to be relevant in these fights.
I would even go out of my way and say that the Chastise Pauldron was actually the reason why we have fighter gold laners right now, because they're not dependent on attack speed. And in this scenario, you're looking at this Nolan as well as this Claude. The Claude will definitely suffer from this Chastise Pauldron. The timing was just perfect. Now, let's talk about how do you actually implement this utility strategy coming out from Aurora. This is a box-type strategy that is really good at punishing those that it can unbox. If you're looking at the composition of Alter Ego, they kind of want to go front to back with this Nolan, with this Phoebes, then eventually with this Claude, but they can also go dive. I think that Alter Ego chose to continuously dive against Aurora, and the result is they just kept getting picked off. I think their formation wasn't good enough for them to implement this kind of strategy because they are always diving into the box, the area or the zone of control of Aurora.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Light was able to be that focal point, right? Really the cornerstone to make sure that this box actually works. You're revealing one edge of it, but truly, do you see every single angle? Most of the time, it's going to be no. The best way to summarize the way the game was basically played, it's checkers, right? We're not even getting into the chess side of it yet. It's consistent trades, and eventually Aurora is able to get 2s and 3s.
And the reason why they're getting 2s and 3s and when they're just they will drop everything that they have, and they will focus on that Claude. Aurora is so good at reacting to Alter Ego to the point where Alter Ego looks like they're creating those mistakes just because of how Aurora is instantaneous with their reactions.
I really like the refinement coming in from Aurora because, again, they know how they play. They just got to make sure that it's basically perfect. And in case something does go wrong, how do you react to it? And I got to say, most of their reactions is actually from Edward. Edward made sure that no shenanigans is going to be there. You guys come in, you got to fight the Lapu.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, there's so many times where as an EXP laner, pressing buttons is the right way to go, but he's holding onto that land trigger only for the right moments, only for when the movement abilities and dashes are out. That's when he goes for the big plays, that's when he goes for the flickers.
Yeah. Now you have to think, if you are heading to game number 2, if you're Alter Ego, do you deny or ban the Fredrin? So as teams have tried to solve the problem against Alter Ego, which is the Freya and the Leomord, and the only way to go about it is to just ban the Freya, you're now Alter Ego. Do you now ban the Fredrin?
I mean, like,
I don't think about the Harith.
I'm worried because of two things. Number one is that Frederick's not there, Leomar is going to be there, and Dimakai has already shown he has a pretty mean Akai. Now, here's the thing. This is the World Championship, and our players need the best device just to make sure that everything happens smoothly. And for you guys at home, there's an extra edge for everyone. You guys get the Realme 15 Pro because, again, it has all the AI goodies, win rate predictions, analyze gold item, everything in real time, and it even have the consecutive skill function. So in case you're new to the hero, you can set your skills, and then with just one button, it can execute perfectly. Again, shout outs to the Realme 15 Pro, the M7 official gaming phone, for making sure they gave the very best experience to our players. You play, we carry. This is the Realme 15 Pro, the M7 official gaming phone.
Beautiful design, nice and sleek, and it's got everything. Honestly, I like the size of it. Fits my hands really nicely, so I'm going to keep this in the meantime. Don't worry about it.
And now, Gideon, would you mind inviting V? Because V would like to see this grand finals. V has been here the entire time, looking very cute. So, again, thank you very much to V. Come on, let's check out this guy and see what V has to say to us.
V, but you don't have to be shy. You don't have to be shy, V. You can give it. Come on, be brave, be brave.
Alright, my name's V, you know. I'm from Visa, the brand that connects the whole world, like everywhere. My job's dead simple, help you pay fast, safe and proper, smart, shopping, traveling, even them little day-to-day bits. With V, you're sorted, no stress, sound that. So come on, let's crack on with a cashless life that's easier and boss.
V, I didn't know you knew Scouts. You really are an international phenomenon.
Hey, I gotta say, V sounds like he can't get knocked out, man. Something about V, like you kind of don't want to mess with him. He can be your best friend in more ways than one. He's the real MVP. Like, if someone messes with you, you're like, yo, V, you got my back, right?
Championship caliber.
Championship caliber. Shout outs to Scouts as well.
Yeah, man.
Might as well, right?
If I ever get into a bar fight, I'm calling V over. He's one of my boys.
And here's the thing, if you guys want to fight, how about a 1v1, right? Because you guys can actually 1v1 with the Fairy Games app. You guys can create and host the 1v1. You guys can play and then get as much points as you can to eventually get you prizes like the M7 Tribute Rings, the MLBB Diamonds, and of course, new MLBB skins. Make sure you guys download on the App Store as well as Google Play Store and register your MLBB ID to start playing. Now, gentlemen, shout outs to all our sponsors. They're amazing friends, and you guys made this possible. And we do hope that this Grand Finals goes all the way, because even though we've seen Zephyr for like what? A better part of 2 to 3 weeks now, we've seen that he likes to adjust. Now, I really want to see how he adjusts for this one, because in that previous draft, Leomord was not touched at all. Not picked, not banned. I wonder if something will change around the jungle pick.
I think, I know, and now Wolf has already brought up a couple of good points about specifically having these utility junglers. I think it's less of a problem with the utility junglers, but the combination of it with this Zhu Xin. That's why we're not seeing the Leomord in this particular matchup, because, the amount of peel that they have with just these two heroes is kind of insane. Add, sprinkle a little bit more CC, and then it becomes impossible.
Well, you know what? I think it's fine, because here's the thing, our players are playing on the secret lab chair, which make it so that they can play all 7 games here, giving amazing comfort with the ergonomic chairs trusted by the world's best MLBB teams. Whether you're enjoying a casual game with friends or representing your org and country on the M7 world stage, Secret Lab can elevate your game with tournament-grade ergonomic support. Again, the very same kind that powers the pros, the casters, analysts, everyone here in the MLBB Pro scene.
Get yours today, maybe tomorrow. Hey, I mean, you take your time with it, because again, if you want greatness, start with the Secret Lab. Wolf, I'm curious to know, because for this upcoming game, we've seen Aurora kind of like make these small adjustments every time they play in the upper bracket. Do you think they are going to be the ones who are going to stick to their guns, or switch on over to just make sure AE is constantly on the edge?
The quick answer to that is they're going to stick with their guns until it loses, until there is a draft that Alter Ego can come up with to counteract it. I think that is the reason. The reason why that is the case is because they want to get as much points as possible, to get to that point where if they're at, let's say, at match point and they already are figured out afterwards, then they employ a new strategy that hopefully Alter Ego does not solve yet. So to answer your question, until it works, they will use it.
Hey, you know what they say, right? That's how cookie crumbles in beginning, right? That's so right. As long as it still works, just keep on using it. Like, I like that mentality because it's really on you. Because we got to remind ourselves, I would say even in a best of 5, the mental stamina is going to be tested, right? So I really feel like you got to pace yourself. You don't have to do anything unnecessary and burn out early. If you just, in a sense, just blow your load early, it makes it very difficult for you to draft later on, because then like, okay, there's just no more surprises.
I don't know, that sounds a little premature. Considering that both of these teams are truly at the top of their game, it's really trying to get as close to the edge as possible without tipping over and losing your sense of self, right? Because once you have that clarity after you make those mistakes, I think that AE now, coming into this draft, might switch things up. First of all, I think it has to start with blue side, red side.
That's right. Can I just say, I love your linguistic ability.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
Yep. You're really good at this. And then we're talking about like the adjustments coming up from Alter Ego. They have to start with the blue side for sure. But now they also will have to think about their jungle choices. I think that the idea why they chose the Nolan makes sense in a vacuum, because you need an assassin against the Jushin. You also need a hero that can outpace this Fredrin. However, the Fredrin plus the Jushin combination is such a strong combo in a way that you can only counter one and not both. If you counter the Fredrin part, then the Jushin part will just be free. And then when you try to counter the Jushin part, the Fredrin, as you saw in game number 1, will be free. So I think that the middle ground in that scenario is to go for fighters. That's why I really thought that the Suyo would be a better choice in that previous draft. Maybe a Guinevere eventually. I think that Alter Ego just have to really pick their battles, or maybe just make sure that they only have to solve one.
I would have to say something that I like about the draft coming in from Aurora or from Philippines in general is that they draft in a way where the margin of error is actually quite low. But now we have more surprises here in the MS7 World Championship. In fact, we're going to be throwing it over to the host to see, is there any more surprises for us?
Aurora Gaming Philippines takes the first blood in this Best of 7 series. However, before we continue this action-packed series, we have some very exciting news to share with our MLBB fans.
We were pretty sure that everyone will love this, especially MLBB fans from Thailand. What exactly is it? Well, let's all watch this video.
ในฐานะทีมที่ได้แชมป์ไทยเยอะที่สุดมันถึงเวลาแล้วที่เราต้องมุ่งสู่ขั้นต่อไปนั่นคือการเป็นแชมป์โลกของจริง
ถ้าตั้งใจคนไทยไม่แพ้ชาติใดในโลกพวกเราจะพิสูจน์ให้เห็นในเวทีระดับโลก
อนาคตที่ยั่งยืนคือเป้าหมายของเราซึ่ง MLBB สามารถช่วยให้เราไปถึงเป้าหมายนั้นได้
พวกเราได้พิสูจน์ตัวเองแล้วพวกเราก็เป็นทีมแชมป์ในเกมโมบ้าบนมือถือได้เหมือนกันและตอนนี้พวกเราก็อยากจะเผชิญหน้ากับความท้าทายใหม่ๆไปกับ MLBB
ถ้าเพื่ออนาคตที่รออยู่ข้างหน้าต่อให้อุปสรรคจะถาโถมเข้ามาแบบไหนพวกเราก็ไม่หวั่น
จงกล้าในวันที่คนอื่นกลัวการที่เราเป็นผู้บุกเบิกสิ่งใหม่แม้มันอาจจะยากแต่มันคือโอกาสที่ประเมินค่าไม่ได้
อย่างที่รู้กันพวกเราคือทีมแห่งโอกาสและในเมื่อมีโอกาสใหม่ๆเข้ามาพวกเราก็ยินดีรับมันไว้
โอกาสจะมาถึงมือคนที่ไม่ยอมแพ้เท่านั้นและโอกาสที่ว่านั้นก็ได้มาถึงมือพวกเราแล้ว
MLBB คือเกมที่จะพาประเทศไทยไปสู่ระดับโลกได้อย่างแท้จริงการันตีด้วยยอดผู้เล่นกว่า 1,500 ล้านคนในมากกว่า 200 ภูมิภาคและประเทศทั่วโลกแถมยังมียอดเข้าชมการแข่งขัน e-sport บนมือถือพร้อมกันมากที่สุดในโลกประจำปี 2025 ถึง 4,100,000 วิวและถูกเสนอชื่อเข้าชิงรางวัลในรายการ The e-sport Award และ The Game Award ถึง 2 ปีซ้อนประเทศไทยพร้อมลุยแล้วร่วมประกาศศักดาของไทยให้ทั้งโลกได้เห็นกัน
And And there you guys have it. A new regional tournament is officially here. Ladies and gentlemen, the Mobile Legends Bang Bang Super League Thailand launches this year.
This league will feature 10 elite teams composed of 8 established Thai powerhouses and 2 teams from open qualifiers.
And Glenn, I actually heard that some of the MSL Thailand representatives are here in the arena with us watching the M7, and I cannot wait to see them in action. Also guys, for your information, MSL Thailand directly connects the region to the global MLBB ecosystem, as their champions will have a slot in the MSC 2026 wildcards.
This is a huge note for Thailand's legacy in MLBB that began with their victory at the first MLBB International Championship in MSC 2017.
Yes, sir. Now don't forget to tune in to MSL Thailand as the open qualifiers begin in March. For now, let's continue on our Best of 7 series. Let the world see us.
Yes, sir, dude! Oh boy, really excited to have Thailand here with everybody else. And more importantly, LaFell, we witnessed it from the very beginning, right? All the way from MSC and now reintroducing this previous legacy region back to the modern age.
All right, just to confirm. All right, I can hear my voice. That's perfect. And yes, shout out to Thailand. Can't wait to go back there again for the wildcards. Well, hopefully we get to go there, right? But either ways, right now in this best of 7, we can see all 10 players are already on stage. Looking at the faces of Alter Ego, they look calm, they look happy. So I'm really feeling like, okay, game 1, we learned quite a few things. Now it's really all about adjustment. I feel like honestly, when it comes to draft, I think it's honestly quite good. You know, everything is okay. It really is just about the execution, and I really feel like it's just Aurora just being one step ahead because they've been using this since forever, right?
And they were so instant when it comes to their picks, right? When they saw that it was the Claude, they instantly go for the Frederick and Harriet. They didn't even waste any second to pick those up. And then they also went for their comfort picks with the Lapu Lapu as well as the Hydas. Some people will say that the Esmeralda will be better against the Phoveus and whatnot, and against the Farsta, you can't have that high loss, but they still went for that because they're not that concerned about their opponent's strategy. They're more concerned about can they actually execute their box. And you saw in the previous game, they are so systematic with it. When somebody jumps, they will go peel with the high loss. They help each other out when it comes to their box setups, and Dominic, Demon Kite, I mean, so reliable with the taunts.
He's really good at it. They had the golden trifecta of the Zushin, made sure that they had the high loss, and on top of all of that, having a Fredrin, I don't see them becoming an impenetrable wall without that golden trifecta. Hopefully, we will see something a little different here in Broken Walls.
Nice transition there, kid. Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, because, yeah, we are in Broken Walls. Alter Ego will be first pick. And look at this, already batting out those
the utility jumpers.
Risky utility jumpers, man. Yes, that's how I describe them.
Frisky.
Deal with it.
Interesting.
Am I wrong though?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're wrong, but they definitely...
Because they do step on you.
They do step on you. They come into full contact on purpose, right? And I still like the idea that AE needs to get rid of this Khalid, but at the same time, does this disrupt the trifecta? You don't have the utility jungles anymore. I feel like AE wants to force Aurora in a more coin flippy style of composition.
Maybe somewhere along the lines of a Croc, because it is actually available as of now. At the same time though, are they actually willing to play the Jushin? We do know that it is a very strong hero, but we rarely get to see Alter Ego pick that up. However, I still feel like it's the best mage that we have right now in the metagame, just because it allows for you to be snowbally in the laning stage when you get the turtle so easily. And even in the latter portions, because of the Sky Piercer, you can actually back up a punch. You can actually impact the team fights. Seems like there will be a little bit of a change.
I mean, like, here's the thing, Wolf. I don't know about you, but I love Jushin, man. Any reason to pick it up, I'll pick it up. Because Jushin is one of those heroes that's really not selfish. Right? She will always help people out. And if attention gets on her, she can protect herself.
She's literally like...
She don't need no man.
She's literally like the most tanky mage we have in the meta.
Yes!
Kind of ridiculous how the design of it made her like impossible to deal with at times. But I feel at the bare minimum, this might be a mistake. I think that right now, holding on to just Freya alongside with the Jushin, there has to be some kind of leeway here. There needs to be some kind of give and take.
I gotta say, sometimes I feel like she's as tanky as a Grok. Which, a big wall of a castle, and a girl that doesn't even wear shoes. Make it make sense. Floating
the lantern
around
with butterflies, you know. What I feel like, what makes
there you go. I agree. Yeah.
Jushin really strong is that
you guys love Jushin too, right? Yeah. See, everyone loves Jushin.
Of course. I lost my favorite thought, but yeah, Jushin is a hero that actually activates most of the junglers, even when they're assassin junglers. Obviously, Fredrin with the Jushin or any utility jungler with the Jushin is already pretty good. But if you play the assassin, just because of your mid lane prio, how strongly you can affect the mid lane when it comes to the laning stage, that makes Jushin really a big threat when it comes to it's really a first pick worthy hero.
Honestly, it's very interesting where Munta tried to adjust her, thinking like, okay, now we'll see something. He was like, no, you kind of made it stronger.
Yep. It's really difficult to balance this hero, right? Because again, it has such a unique mechanic that outranges literally everybody at level 1, and there's nothing you can do about it, you know? With the only exception being Kimmy, but that's only when her passive is up and you can zone her off the wave anyways.
Yeah. I kind of don't want Munta to adjust her that much.
But
there's so many nerfs to Jushin, but still first pick worthy.
Yeah. It's kind of like Cho. The kit is always going to be relevant.
The kit is always so good.
Yeah. I think Cho and Claude, they're both like M-series heroes, you know?
Yeah. Fanny as well.
No, here's the thing. I really have this theory. There are certain heroes, no matter what, you can one-trick them. Like Cho is the best example. Even if the damage Cho is bad, you have tank. If tank Cho is bad, you go damage. And if either is bad, your kick is going to be so good, it doesn't matter.
Cho is a type of hero where you can have a 10-month drought in a year, and then come the M-series, it will still be a success. It will still be a priority pick, you know?
That's why he has a lot of skins.
It's so good. It's so. I wouldn't be too surprised if there was like a subreddit r/Way of the Dragon just Cho. It makes so much sense.
Yep, there you go. We have
talked about both of these heroes, the first Jushin and then the Grok.
Grok into Leomord. They banned out the Freya at the very least, so still respect there from Rora.
Okay, so how do you answer this, Alter Ego? You don't necessarily want to go for the Claude immediately because there's the Grok. I think you also can take away Harith. At the same time, though, that will be not a good hero for it. So this is super duper interesting for Alter Ego because now we can see how they will now manage to counter the Leomord. Previously, they went in for the Claude, then eventually the Suyo.
Yep.
However, because they already showed that before, Aurora might be prepared against that.
What if they went?
I think they. Okay, so.
Ooh. Speaking of Cho, by the way.
Cho.
Most of the heroes we talk about is here.
Well, I was expecting the Cho. I wasn't so sure about the user. I was thinking more along the lines of Sora first to kind of keep things open, but this is a very direct way to play the comp.
I think the Farsa will be picked up here by Aurora, but then again, Harith is also available. I think just between those two heroes will be the third pick here for Aurora. I think the Farsa is a much better pickup, though.
I mean, like, here's the thing. This is why I feel like Alter Ego, they're lying by being honest. Because again, look at that draft. They're like, okay, we kind of know where everything is going, but at the same time, you're like, wait, where is this going?
Yeah. Well, what we do know is that Aurora is going into that funnel direction. This Farsa and the Grok, a worthy adversary to what Cho Jushin mid lane. I think that matchup is so even. I mean, of course, the first wave literally favors the Farsa and the Grok because of the wall and third round part, but from then on, this mid lane battle is probably one of the strongest mid lane battles we'll ever get to see.
No, I appreciate this duo, you know. Jushin and Farok are amazing.
Groksa.
I like that. I like that a lot better.
I kind of like Farok.
Farok, yeah.
Because you can create a skin. Farshot. Nah, but like Rock, you know, like imagine Farsa with the guitar and Grok with drums.
I like that. I like that.
That's a skin idea.
That's a skin idea.
Yeah, that's
rock out.
Make it happen.
That's the duo that's going to be rocking my world in just a little bit. Uranus ban for the side of AE. I think this is to be expected. Do they want to double down with an Esme on top of it, or do they want to diversify?
I think the Esmeralda just is such a good ban because they will not have enough for that. They only have the Cho and the Jushin. There are a few heroes that can actually survive this mid lane duo, and Esmeralda is definitely one of those heroes. It's a worthy ban. At the same time, there was a time where the Glue and the Farsa was used to counter the Yuzhong. Even someone like Sanford, who mains the Yuzhong, will not survive that kind of lane. So Glue and Esmeralda might be the choices here for Zephyr when it comes to the ban.
Yep. So right now for Aurora, they already banned out the Guinevere. What other jungler are they looking out for? It looks like they want to take away the Esmeralda, so there's a good chance.
They want a Lapu, I feel like. Yeah. And Harith, obviously. I think this is a fourth pick Harith for Aurora. And now if you're Zephyr, you're going to be thinking about, do I ban Harith or do I focus on the Edward hero? I believe that banning out Dominkite might be better because you can really never have enough bans against Edward.
Do you feel like Aurora will go Claude?
Oh, man.
I think Aurora will go Harith.
All right.
I think most comfortable, they go Harith. Worst comes to worst, they go Granger, right?
Yes. It's not even... I wouldn't say, there you go. Yeah. That's the Harith ban. Well done, Zephyr. But then you're left with Granger still for Aurora. Oh.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like Granger used to have the Claude, so it's like still good, you know?
Yeah, it's still good no matter what, but at the end of the day, you know that the show on the other side, you have to take the Purify, which does hurt the odds in the lane when you end up fighting and go for the all-in, considering how often we see both teams kind of rotate to the opposite sides of the map.
Yeah. Okay, like oh, they still went Claude. Well done. Well, they seal it away, though. That's interesting.
Yeah, because I kind of feel like the whole theme of M7 as well is just to make sure that you win lane.
Yeah.
And again, Claude has a favorable lane against most matchup.
Exactly.
Now that the Freya is not there, even against a Granger, it's still going to be fine.
I really like it. Now, I think you're left with that...
Did they go Yisun Shin?
Yisun Shin against Farsa, Grok, and Leomord. That might be
very hard,
ego. And I think they will just go Suyo, honestly. Suyo, Granger. Just run it back.
Run it back, but it's going to cost them a little bit. It's a good call by Wolf, but at the same time, the damage profile doesn't really... It's a lot more manageable for the side of Aurora. Antiques come through and some dumb ices. It's going to be a tough game.
Now, Glue is just perfect, I would say, for Aurora. Patrick, with this kind of composition, that's going to really tear up Alter Ego apart. But then the safest option is the Lapu-Lapu. You can always just go back to that.
I think there is an opportunity to go above and beyond and play Arlet because there's a lot of enablers for the side of Aurora, and you need somebody who actually can force out not only Purifies, but shove Jushin back into the fight.
This is a bit off, but I kind of feel like I kind of hope there's no more skins for the Glue, so that can be the ultimate skin that he has.
Aurora.
And now Aurora, they finish it up with the Sora. Again, a lot of crowd control, and when you do need it, you can go for more damage. What do you think about the side lane matchups here, Wolf?
Pretty even, but... Nah, I think it's Sora-sided. Yeah, I would go for Aurora, actually. After a few seconds of thinking, this is Aurora.
I think it really depends on who's going to get that first blood. If Nino wins out his lane, I think this is going to be a very interesting mid-game.
I mean, like, again, this is all about momentum. Whoever has, I would say, the good 5 minutes of the game can really start to control the tempo. So now, ladies and gentlemen, the drafts has been done. We're jumping into Broken Walls for game number 2 of this grand finals. Now we're going to give it back to Leo, Trex, and Mirko.
Select adjustments coming in from these two teams going into game number 2. Will Alter Egos changes spell a different result, or will Aurora continue to push forth?
I like it at this point. I mean, here's my big problem coming from Aurora. Coming from Aurora for AE. The Sora right now, I think, was the winning piece of this draft in my mind. I think it's something that it's gotten overlooked in the last game, and right now coming in, it's going to be something that can jump into the back line, can do damage to Arfi, can get onto Hijume, and can also be a nice, bulky frontliner for Aurora Gaming PH.
Is the best way to win a draft from the red side, using red 5 this well.
Yeah, it's really, really good by Aurora Gaming Philippines there, but I think for Alter Ego, they built a very, very good core foundation for those neutral objective takes. The Yuzhong with the Suyo. It seems to be the answer against the Leomord right now. SRG played it, got a really good game against Alter Ego.
It's one of the few key wins on the hero that has almost been forgotten since last year's World Championships. Also, the reason why this is such a comfortable Suyo game for Yasuke is there's only really one painful source of magic damage, and that's Yue. And this lineup, I'd say, is built to hunt down Yue. Nino on the Yuzhong, even Alakin get pokey and kick him right out of the skies.
Yeah, but getting the Grok and then getting the Leomord is something that's going to be able to stop that. It's something that's going to be a big problem for Alter Ego. And last game, Yasuke also had a nice hunting hero, but he wasn't able to find the angles. So this time, a lot of it's going to come down to, can he finally get past Aurora Gaming to those heroes?
Turtle spawning in the lower quarter of the map. You'll see that the Claude will try to push fast, clear it, get double waves, and then join the fight.
After a long time of not seeing Suyo, well, hold on, Demonkai gets completely zoned. This is a Turtle 1 take for free for Alter Ego, unless Edward gets kind of petrified. Now it's going to be Ali on the way to Dragon, but it's going to be Edward who's still able to go for the CC immune just a bit. Now taking very low, flickers out of safety as Hijume can't get quite close enough.
Frederick, you were saying?
I was saying, the Suyo, it's so rarely picked up that a lot of teams going up against it would just not be prepared for it. But it seems like for Aurora Gaming Philippines, they know how fast a Suyo can go, and that's why Yue, Edward, Domeng, they're playing it so safe.
But can they stop it from its speed? We're already seeing a first turtle go into Alter Ego. This might not be a composition that Aurora Gaming wants to take the super slow route to. At some point, they do need to try to fight it out.
And I think that's dictated by their jungler. You kind of want to snowball, not as fast as you would like a true assassin, but with a Leomord, you kind of want to get the most out of that power spike you get when you have your War Axe and then your Brute Force. From there, you kind of feel unstoppable. I know I did this morning. They're trying to jump on Edward. I think Nino knew that Yue was hiding in there.
Something was fishy about that.
Again, you don't see it. That means you see it.
Taking a look at the items right now. Arfi looking for Hunter Strike or an impossible early Sky Piercer. He's going to go straight to Sky Piercer,
He's going to skip it.
Did that yesterday as well. He likes to go for that Sky Piercer on the wing.
Great reaction from Hijume, but it's a bit late now. Has to burn the Flicker. So it's light with the Flicker and also Hijume.
Both teams really just testing the waters right now. No big full commit engages, but seeing what the other team is going to.
Now it's up to Alter Ego to ride that wave.
No red tree, and Yuzuki didn't even get it there, the green camp. So this is info for Demonkai to utilize.
So last time that we saw Arfi go for this early Sky Piercer, there was a quick gank up to the gold lane. I mean, either after this turtle or maybe even give up the turtle and go for it, but it's all about trying to get Arfi these stacks as soon as possible.
Time's a ticking. We'll see if that kind of rotation will be the play for Alter Ego, but what is clear is they want this second turtle. Massive presence from El Familia here. Aurora Gaming want to contest.
Edward jumping in. Hijume no flicker. Going to be brought back into the better airstrike now. Hijume taking very low. Plays a new way from Domeng.
And back at the Lord. Edward does find the kill, but Demonkai finds Nino.
It's an all-out win for Aurora Gaming Philippines. Yue trying to go for stun onto Arfi now. 3-0, and even a turtle taken by Aurora.
Say what you will about Aurora's draft, it being very ult dependent and timing reliant. They found the perfect timing. They used every single ult that mattered to take down 3 members of AE and the second turtle too. That's one of the major problems I have with the Suyo. When the hero was big, this was still one of the major problems. Is there's too many dudes in there. And look at this major cut.
Oh, Dragon, good sidestep by Demon, kind of ganking the bottom lane. Going to be dove on now as they turret jungle, and Edward takes to the skies to pick up a killing spree.
Aurora Gaming giving Alter Ego the Alter Ego treatment right now.
Right, caught on the way to Dragon now. They're going to give over a stack to Arfi. So they get something on the map, but Aurora get more value.
It's a good trade for the Northern Lights. An XP laner and a turret for a lone roamer. It's very rare that El Padre Nino gets told what to do. That's just not how it works. Even when they're losing, he's usually the one who wins the lane, who tries to gain back parts of the map. But here, that's a non-starter. Aurora Gaming are dictating the pace, and how unfortunate is it that it's in that same side of the map that the final turtle will spawn.
Another big problem, Yasuke already taking this death, right? And even when Suyo was meta, it wasn't a hero that you wanted to die this early on. It wasn't a hero that you wanted to lose turtles on. And now that that's happened in the current meta, I'm wondering how far back is Yasuke as of now?
We'll see in the items. We'll check in just a bit.
It's
the final Turtle will be spawning about 50 seconds. Big fight starts.
All in, you blink and you miss it. RP disintegrated. Now they're just trying to go for the defense. Petrify on towards Dome. Nino going at it over. Gets the knockup as well. Nino on the back now doing more damage as Demon Kite goes in with a steed and runs through Nino.
2 members down on the side of Alter Ego Esports. A huge gank from Aurora Gaming, sending RP back to the base.
El Familia is getting crumbs. Alms. Yasuke is starving. All that upstairs for a turtle. The math doesn't check out. Edward spots Hijime here. Goes into thunder form.
Goes in on the Hijime. Forcing a flicker. Edward with a flicker himself. Now RP trying to go for the damage, but it's Yue with the shot. RP getting barriered away now. Low gets smacked by Light.
There is no escape right now from Aurora Gaming Philippines. Alec does jump in though.
What a peel there. Tectonic charge. And the blazing duet from Domeng. Nino taking it very low. So able to sustain for some bit. Domeng goes back in. Nino still there. It's going to be Alan with Kundo and Yasuke now. Going out of a Demon Kite as his horse.
Alec just trying to get away, but Demon Kite doesn't want to let it happen. Yasuke look for the re-engage.
Weather canceled. Now the blade surge backward. Feather airstrike coming down and they zone Alter Ego from the purple buff.
Let me commend a play that happened off screen that made the tail end of that sequence immaculate for Aurora Gaming PH. Demon Kite used the Phantom Steed just to get there.
Yep.
So again, the map awareness and communications on Aurora Gaming side is on another level. Yesterday, last night, back-to-back, 2 teams that are so good at fighting, so good at macro. SRG and Liquid, they did not play this way.
Nope, they did not. And the mechanical awareness on top of that, Leo. Light canceled out the dive from Nino, which would have been a sure kill.
You know, at this point, we just saw the gold spread. Overall, the 2,000 gold lead is pretty divided between 5 members of Aurora Gaming. Alter Ego still not completely out of this, but if it continues on this track, it's going to be tough for them.
Whoa! Go Hijime back, feathered airstrike, so much thrown at Hijime, and he can't handle it. Neither can Nino, he has to use the Black Dragon form defensively.
This was the MO for SRG last night. That one game they won, and that game 4, where it seemed like they were going to equalize, they attacked the heart of Alter Ego's lineup. They attacked Hijime, denied him the game, denied him from playing, but here, it's all the more evident. The Zushin's short to mid-range utility isn't accessible at this time. Lord for free going over to Aurora.
You know, looking at the back at the draft. That's okay.
No blade surge. Edward jumps in and kills him.
Edward on a tanky Sora, still packing such a huge punch. I think he could 1v1 just about anybody on Alter Ego Esports right now.
Mirko, Trex, I've never seen Edward this driven. He plays the same game as he did with the Lapu Lapu, 6-1 and 4.
Oh, wait.
He found the angle.
This is nasty.
Mirko, you know how Light does this.
The tech charge now Edward with a pullback on RP. And he gets the killing spree, but Edward gets shut down. You were to stand over, stun over on Hijime.
2 members for the price of Edward, plus huge amounts of space right before the Lord meets the base.
No matter what team Light plays for, RSG, TNC, Warcaster Force, Bigitron, XBT. And now Aurora, he's the same high IQ player, finds that massive tech charge. Holy Shield up top. Alter Ego looking to protect the real estate. Bottom lane is gonna pop as well. 5K up Aurora Gaming.
You know what I was saying was, I feel like that first phase of drafting, the Jushin was not worth giving over the Grok and the Leomord. I think you take the Grok, you take the Leomord, you give over the Jushin and the other one, and you still get the Barza. Anything, I think Alter Ego, not just in the gameplay, but also the draft, they are getting outmaneuvered right now, and there needs to be an answer soon.
Man, feather airstrike over on RP, doesn't have flicker. And now it's gonna be the barrier coming down again. It's Edward. Go into the skies, trying to go for a slam. Yasuke in the bottom lane. Just really trying to go for a trade, but the waves aren't crashing in just yet.
Yasuke looking for some bottom lane play. anything. And this is what Yuzuke always does well. Even when they're losing, he looks for playing the map. He steals away buffs. He finds towers. He's able to play the map a bit, and it's going to staunch the bleeding slightly, right? It's a small band-aid on a big flesh wound.
And that flesh wound is ringing to the tune of 5,000 gold up. Half a minute till the Lord spawns upper quarter. Alter Ego Esports can only pray and hope to get lucky to contest because the map doesn't belong to them at all. Demon Kite can willy-nilly rough shot, just hit the Phantom Steed, and what, 10 seconds later, be the same kind of threat. Alter Ego Esports, I'll say now, one of their possible win conditions, their outs here, is to get a pick off on Yue. That's a start.
Yeah, Alex got to make a big play, some sort of big kick, but the thing is, his light is outmaneuvering him time and time again. Nino can't even go in with a big black dragon and look for these big petrifies because Domain just shreds him down.
Oh, Alec.
Down a bad spot.
Way too aggressive. Edward didn't want to go for the flicker just yet, but the airstrike coming down over on Alec. As Yusuke gets pulled back, but is able to Blade Surge out of there. And now it's Rora knocking on Alter Ego's base.
Lord's gonna spawn in about 20 seconds. Hijume still unable to find his footing. He's miserable in a situation like this. He can't clear waves as effectively as Yue, and he's on the back foot. How does this national champion throw back to his days in Bali, 2022, the prime of his career? How do they close this 7,000 gold gap? Not inside the base, I'll tell you now. It's got to come from somewhere else.
Already a winner crown for Domain Kite at this point, which means he can be even more aggressive on this big advance. Demon Kite now starting off for the Rose Gold, making him be able to be even more aggressive. They are preparing for this attack like they're gonna try to end it here.
That is the Lord up top, gonna crash into that turret, say goodbye. Bottom lane and mid seems to be the point of contention. The defense, feathered airstrike by Yue. How much of a response?
They force the Crimson Beacon out from Hijume. Light just fainted. He went, huh! And Hijume reacted. He flinched. Two base turrets on the sides. That is the worst combo you could find. And again, it's what LaFell said. Roxa, that combo, brother, is too much.
I'm partial to Farok. And there's the Farsa starting it up. Phantom Steed from Demon Kite. Turn in mid, about to go down.
Edward, oh my god, Light jumps in again! Tech charge! Now Hijume taking low, they're still able to go for it. Nino with the Furious down in the petrify, but he won't be able to lock them down for long. A cannon in the mid lane as Edward dives in with a crown. Yusuke clears out the cannon in, but they have another wave.
RV with a couple of free shots and down. Not yet, Edward able to just get away again.
He's ticking down! Hijume able to get a shutdown. Demon Count on the horse again. Jumps on Yusuke. Bang! Hijume gets away with the Crimson Beacon. Dominguez on the base. They can't just end it right here as Nino jumps in, but Yue!
Arthur keeps on kiting back and forth. He's able to push him away with a couple more shots.
Alpha Amelia stands, still breathing. A 10th left on the base, refusing to go down.
Edward got some kind of plot armor, brother. After losing M4, now in the same arena. Something's clicking.
At this point, I mean, I couldn't even see his health bar at that point.
Yeah.
And the Shaw residue was on him. There was no reason for him to be able to walk out of that alive right now. He's got the Jakarta energy right now. It's in favor.
You saw his soul almost leave his body, but his body pulled it right back. He's like, no, I ain't dying here. Not today.
He was burning. There was a little bit of a sting there from Hijume, but he refused to go down. The map is going to correct itself given the moment of melancholy for Alter Ego. They get to get out of their base for the first time in a while. They get to push out, but with all of their base turrets taken out, where do they find a play? I'll tell you now, it's got to come from Nino somewhere, somehow. He's the only real easy way in.
They got to go back to back. It can't just be Nino because Nino, he can bait out the Purify, but then what, right? You need someone else to follow up on the Purify that's used.
I hate this. This is rough. Right now,
Pops in the Crimson Beacon, it's now or never now. Light jumps in the backline, won't be able to find anything now. Azada goes for the Venus Dragon, he says Suki's able to go for the base, but now Edward!
RP taken out along with Yazuke. Wait, yes.
He gets stomped to the ground, curb stomp, that's Yue. In a 1v1 against Nino as Domain goes for the BMI! Domain!
Guns Hijume down. Now it's the base next to the topping block. And Aurora go 2-0 in the grand finals.
Blinded by the Northern Lights' surgical precision and the seemingly plot armor that keeps their players alive, Alter Ego's signature aggression quelled once more.
Momentum has been built on the side of Aurora PH. And like I said, it feels like from draft to game, they are in control. Professor X has got to go back to the drawing board. He's got to think about something because the trades just aren't feeling right.
Kay Sam Yves Wolf no Pueto mentioned this. Alter Ego will stick to their guns until it works. And I agree, this is their identity. This is not the time to dig deep and find something that works because that's what got you to the grand final stage.
But it's all banned, that identity, it's all denied. That's the problem now. Aurora, they took those days where they were off, but it was completely different to the Edward of M4, the Blacklist of M4, who maybe went through the upper bracket finals. Again, as Oheb said, they just weren't ready for the other picks. Aurora had that experience, they used it. They had to keep on sharpening their swords.
A little food for thought, maybe our panel can delve in deeper. Did Aurora pick up a little bit of liquid stampede in their gameplay going into the grand finals?
Something that I can say, man, Mr. Consistent and the light system, man. Like, both of them did this front line. You can't go through them. You can't go through light. You can't go through Edward. You want to go to the back line, but this two won't let that happen.
Let me tell you something. I'm so impressed with Aurora PH. Their defense is insane. Their man-to-man defense, their reactions to a lot of the moments, light, and as well, as you mentioned before, Mr. Consistent absolutely won't let anything get past them. These engages have been ridiculous. The tectonic charges as well. But I think the biggest flaw that we saw throughout this game was the way that they were trying to bait out resources, specifically from Hijume.
Yeah, I think it's also evident that the first turtle is the priority for both of our teams. We mentioned before the actual series started that this might be a game where it might go long, but it will only have like short games in it. Like it could be a 4-2 game, a 4-2 series, but the games will be short. It's so snowbally, and it's because of the draft. You can see that Aurora have been drafting to focus on their laning stage into the first turtle fight. And so far, with the first two games that we've seen, that has been the priority, and they were successful in accomplishing that.
Yeah, take a bit what Mirko said is that Alter Ego, they want to play their identity, but it keeps getting banned out, right? So this is where really Alter Ego needs to start going in deep. And it's also good that Aurora, being on second pick, being on red side, they were able to get winning matchups, right? Get their mid trio first, and then see what's available, pick up the Claude, and it eventually does pick up that Sora. And again, M7, the laning phase, man, is absolutely important. But for now, we're going to be looking at the MVP of the game. And looks like it's Mr. Consistent. It's Edward on that Sora, man.
No doubt about it. I think everybody can see if it was not going to be Mr. Consistent, it was going to be like these people are playing out of their minds here in the grand finals. Huge engagements. But the best part about him is the fact that he's purely abusing the passive coming in from Sora. Hey, just because I've got a lot of max HP, don't mean I can't throw hands.
Casters asked the question, did they actually adapt the liquid stampede into their draft? I think that this is the epitome of that stampede. I think we saw Edward just play this Sora with the high octane kind of gameplay where he's not stopping and making the play. I think that really fits that kind, like this hero fits that kind of playstyle because of low cooldown ultimates, low cooldown skills. You can swap between your forms, and if you have the proper targets, you can actually eliminate them. You're gonna see that through the highlights. His target acquisition coming up from Edward is stellar.
It's so very good. And with the additional light to cover the other angles that he can't, his engagements have been absolutely nasty. And this is one of the few times, right? So many people have been saying on the internet, hey, when is Edward? He may be Mr. Consistent, but if you give him just a little bit of love, a little bit of resources, he can carry this game, and you see it right here.
That tech charge. And by the way, in that last highlight of this game, you're gonna see the Sora of Edward catch and snag two of the most important heroes for Alter Ego. He's gonna get the jungler and the golden. Look at that. Tie them together with that Cloud. Is that not an MVP-esque performance. Might be one of the best plays that we've seen all throughout the finals.
I gotta say, Gideon, like, as cool as junglers and goal laners are, man, these kind of games are the reason why I play Rome. These are the kind of games I play EXP because, dude, it's just so cool.
It's so much fun.
It feels good that the meta is also highlighting every different aspect of these roles. For us, at the very least, in our own individual roles, this is cool to watch. Rora, with their 20-5 kill score, something needs to change. And I think that EE need to recognize that they can't just simply fight for the sake of fighting against Rora. The response times are just too good.
Yeah. You can see that Aurora has good mastery of this kind of playstyle where they are good at utility junglers, and then they're also good at hybrid junglers. Like, well, technically, let's just say they're fighter junglers.
Yeah, fighters, yeah.
Lee Sin-shin, that's Leo Mord, as well as the Suyo. If it's Suyo eventually, I don't know if Rora will eventually play that hero, but that is like the hybrid. It's not an assassin, it's not a utility.
Yeah.
They're like,
it's not necessarily going to the back lines. It's really about accelerating your team.
Exactly.
And then when it really needs you, you go for those neutral objectives.
Yeah, that's you can maybe say that Alpha is considered to be part of that, but it's not there. Before M7, only Lee Sin-shin can play that kind of role, the third type of jungler. But because of M7, because of the new fighter emblem, because of the new artists we have, the Chastised Waldron, maybe this is where we can see that heroes like that can be available. That's why we can expect this Leomord to be a hero that the two teams will actually, they will try to get it taken from each other.
Honestly, that's why I'm a little bit sad that it's only really Leomord that's viable as a fighter in the jungle. Like, yes, we got hybrids like the Lee Sin-shin, but not gonna lie, I kind of miss the days of Martis in the jungle.
Oh yeah,
right. I might even take a Balman because that tunk into taking those objectives is pretty cool. I really hope, like, for the future tournaments, we see a little bit more variation when it comes to the fighters. I kind of feel like when it comes to the assassins as well as the tanks, we kind of have a staple already.
Where can we put Guinevere in that kind of category?
I'm okay to put Guinevere if it's like a damage kind of thing. Like, she can set, but I want to see a different type of Guinevere where she kind of go in and she can, like, in a way, like, assassinate, if you get what I mean.
I totally get what you mean, but it's tough because, again, Guinevere, what's really making her good is the fact that her kit allows her to kind of get in and out of the pit specifically. But if you miss your abilities, you miss your magic thumb, you're kind of dead in the water, right? That's the big issue with her. And none of her builds really accelerated other than tank.
Aulus is getting a revamp.
Oh, it really needs a revamp, dear.
No, here's the thing. I saw the revamp.
Is it cool?
It's very cool because you can tell what kind of skin he's gonna get.
Okay.
Like, if you see it, you think of swordsman, you think of demons.
Swordsman and demons.
You think of slayers or hunters as well. Just trust. If I show you the new ult,
a ninja from Naruto.
No. If you see the ult, you're like, okay, you know what? I already know what skin this
Sandy
guy
from SpongeBob.
No.
Oh no.
Nice try.
I'm trying to think of the Japanese name. Kiminetsu no Yaiba.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's the one. That is the one.
Just trust. New Aulus low-key looks pretty cool.
I'll wait for it to come out because, again, Aulus is just one of those heroes that you're like, oh my goodness, I've committed myself to 20 minutes of the game.
No. This one is gonna be early game because the ult, like that straight thing. Now it just keeps on slashing forward.
It's a Benedetta ult.
So
no. It's kind of like
Suyo.
Yeah, kind of like a Suyo, but it just keeps on going.
Ooh, boy.
So you can tell, like, okay, I kind of know what kind of skin this guy is gonna get.
That's pretty sick.
It's kind of like a sword now.
Well, we'll see when the time does actually come.
Because this is like younger Aulus.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's the revamp. So from old Aulus now to his younger days.
The kids can't relate to old Aulus. We got to make him young now. It's the only answer.
Gen Z's running the business,
6'7".
so you gotta have to.
No. I'm not gonna accept that. Yeah, that is Gen Alpha.
That's Gen Alpha.
Yeah,
we talked about this in the podcast, bro.
Yeah, we do. But even.
It's
most of our talents are 19, like the year starts of 19, right?
I'm not going to dox them just yet because we still have a little bit to discuss here, specifically when it comes down to AE trying to figure out a way to break through this impenetrable wall. I think a couple of adjustments that it could be good, it could be bad, really just is dependent on how antsy you are. Because the early game, I don't think that AE had a god-awful early game. I just think that a lot of their abilities were coming out kind of for free, right? The smoke and mirrors is really really making them tear up.
I have a very immediate or maybe a band-aid patch to this problem that A is facing. If they eventually get back to the blue side, remember they banned the Khalid as their third ban? Maybe if they just ban the Grok, things will be different. However, the only problem with that is that the Jushin will definitely be banned by the side of Aurora if the Grok is banned. But I think that you'd rather face the Khalid than the Grok, especially when you're facing someone like Light who really mastered this hero down to the T.
And again, it's just one of those heroes, because Grok is, even if he's not having a good game, you can have that one big set, and then you're like, what have I been doing for the past 50 minutes, right? So one of the things that I do want to see is some kind of playmaker for Arfi, because so far, Arfi has been doing quite well here in the M7, where, first of all, he controls his own lane, right? He doesn't need any kind of gank, he can deal with it himself. And then, during a fight, you're not thinking about it, but then all of a sudden he's there and he's wrecking a shop. So I kind of feel like we got to need something that's Freya-esque, where he doesn't need help, and in fact, he will help someone.
Well, I was thinking about this a lot. I was thinking about what would be the other replacement to the Freya in this lane. I would make an argument for Benedetta, but I don't think her base numbers coming into the mid-game, especially once you're past level 8, is going to be enough to kind of keep it up. Because at the end of the day, your emblems, having to take Festival of Blood, takes away from how much damage you can actually pump out compared to Master Assassin.
There was a hero that actually they could have picked up that Arfi likes, that's also Freya-esque, the CC. So far, 4-0 for Alter Ego Esports. I look at their stats that they have not lost with that hero. Definitely can be played in the gold lane. Usually we see it in Nino, but I think that it also fits the bill of like having a fighter that kind of scales, but also helps your teammates in a much more amplified manner.
Plus, how hard is it to play CC, right?
Yeah.
How hard is it?
No, not gonna lie, even people on TikTok are like fuming. It's like, oh my god, I trained for months to master Yuzong. And I go up against the CC, there's like skill 1.
Imagine playing in Uranus.
Imagine playing a Uranus. You know what? EXP is so exciting,
riveting,
that some of those heroes just kind of like ruin it a bit. But right now we're going to throw it over to the host, where I believe they're going to update us a bit about Magic Chess Go Go. So right now we're throwing it over to the stage to see what's up with that.
Thank you very much to our casters. Before we continue the quest of finding our new M7 champion, we have here with us the Magic Chess Go Go champions. A round of applause, our newly crowned champion.
Hello guys, congratulations. May you please introduce yourself to the world.
Привет, как дела? Пожалуйста, представься. Всем привет. Меня зовут Флокси. Все хорошо. Настрой победный. Спасибо всем, кто поддерживал. Hey guys, my nickname is Floxy. I'm doing pretty well. Feeling myself as a champ now. Thanks for everyone for your support.
Yes, now Floxy, congratulations on winning the GO1 World Championship. Tell us about it. How are you? How did you prepare for it?
Расскажи, пожалуйста, как ты готовился и какие трудности встретились на твоем пути? Я готовился к турниру, участвуя на различных турнирах в своем регионе, играл в ранкед, пытался разбирать ошибки. Из трудностей у меня возникли трудности с перелетом, поэтому я не мог основательно подготовиться к турниру. So basically, I was preparing by playing tournaments in my region in the ECA. I participated in many of them, just to train myself, to analyze my gameplay, and basically to prepare for MCGG Go 1. And from the challenges, I would like to mention that the flight here took me a lot of time.
Oh wow, and I'm pretty sure being a champion is not easy. You have to go through so much. Perhaps what is the biggest obstacle that you had to overcome to become a champion today?
Расскажи, пожалуйста, про самое большое препятствие на твоем пути сюда, как чемпиона. Самым большим препятствием, наверное, думаю, было основательно подготовиться и поймать, так сказать, волну игры. The hardest obstacle was to prepare as good as possible and basically to prepare for the games, because it was a little bit exciting.
Yes, it was definitely exciting. And you know what? Coming from a grand finals yourself, coming from a championship yourself, currently we are having the grand finals of the M7 World Championship where Alter Ego Esports is currently going up against Aurora Gaming Philippines. Floxy, who do you think will win tonight?
Как ты думаешь, кто победит, Alter Ego или Aurora Page?
Мне кажется, победит Альтер Эго. На самом деле, я их небольшой фанат, как и Team Spirit. Вот, поэтому я надеюсь, что победит Альтер Эго.
So basically, I'm a big fan of Alter Ego, so I'm cheering up for them because Team Spirit is not here anymore, so Alter Ego is my choice.
Currently, Alter Ego is down 0-2. Do you have any message to Alter Ego, like any boost or any buff since you're just a newly crowned champion?
Хочешь ли ты передать Alter Ego какие-то слова поддержки?
Конечно, игра не заканчивается на 2 проигранных картах. Всегда есть шанс камбэкнуть, поэтому я верю в вас, Альтер Эго.
So basically, this game is the best of 7 series. So guys, keep it up. You're gonna win it. Alter Ego, let's go.
What a very positive message. And finally, Floxy, is there anyone who would you like to thank or dedicate the victory to?
Фокси, хочешь ли ты кому-то передать привет, либо поблагодарить за поддержку, либо посвятить кому-то эту победу?
Я хочу передать привет всем, кто меня поддерживал. Привет ESEA региону, всем стримерам, ютуберам, родителям. Всем спасибо.
Yeah, so big shout out to everyone for supporting me, to my region, ECA, to my parents, to all of the streamers and YouTubers who were streaming the MCGG Go 1 finals. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you very much, and once again, congratulations, Floxy. That it is from me and Glenn. But right now, we are going to be throwing it over to the stage with Eterna and Brigida. Let's see what you guys have in store for us. Thank you so much, Rose. Thank you so much, Glenn. It's Eterna here with
Nona.
Oh yeah, we have Nona up on stage. Yeah. Hi guys, welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
We're so excited. Yeah, it's so nice to have them here on stage. I'm so glad that we are finally standing beside Nona right here.
So with that being said, do you mind introducing yourselves once more for the MLBB community that's watching right now?
Hi everyone, we are Nona. That's so cute. Could we ask them individually though, especially for our global audience out there? Starting with you.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Nona Christy.
Hi Nona Christy.
Hi everyone, I'm Nona Esther.
Hi Nona Esther.
Hi everyone, I'm Nona Baila.
Hello Nona Baila.
Hi everyone, I'm Nona Shaz.
Hello Nona Shaz.
Okay, so that's all 4 of them right now, but I might just want to talk to someone specific among you guys. So I'm looking at you, Christy. You're right beside me here. I have a couple questions for you because I heard that you've been playing Mobile Legends for a long time. Could you tell us how long you've been playing Mobile Legends?
Okay, I've been playing about 10 years.
10 years?
But it just for fun. Yeah. But yeah, maybe next season we might not gonna perform on stage.
Okay.
They might want to
play.
Yeah.
They want to compete on stage. They might be the ones sitting on these
we're
chairs.
as Nona. No.
As Nona. Okay. You might need one more, but we're excited to see that. So you've been playing for 10 years, and what role do you usually play?
Role? I love playing mage.
Okay.
And my favorite character is Esmeralda.
Esmeralda.
Like Esmeralda.
Okay. So, for all the Esmeralda mains out there, you're not alone because it looks like Christy also plays that hero. Now, Nona, you're here up on stage here at M7 and we're in the grand finals right now. So we have 2 competitive teams that are fighting for that M World Championship title. We have a team from the Philippines, which is Aurora Gaming from PH. And we also have a team from Indonesia, Alter Ego. Now, do you mind sharing us one by one who you guys are supporting today? Okay, sure. Together?
Yeah, so this is a competition indeed. We know that everyone works so hard. So we support both. Anyone who win this competition deserves it. But we watched the tournament last night and we saw Alter Ego winning. So as fellow Indonesian, we were so proud.
Oh, Alter Ego has their vote. So do you have a message maybe that you want to share to Alter Ego? You want to share a message, Esther?
For Alter Ego, good luck on this competition. We're so excited and we can't wait to watch the rest of the game.
Semangat.
Okay.
Semangat.
They might have just needed that bit of a boost, you know, especially for Alter Ego right here. Now, going back to you guys as a group, I'm just curious to know if you could share a bit of your, you know, future exciting plans or future products that you have as Nona.
Well, we just dropped a single recently called Work.
Yes.
And yeah, Jakarta to LA, we brought a little piece of home when we were making the song in the States. And we're very excited to be performing in front of our Indonesian audience here in our home country. So yes, thank you for supporting us, really.
We love you.
We love you all.
Exciting. So are you going to be performing that song tonight as well?
Let's see.
Let's see. All right, and finally, Nona, we're wondering because you have so many fans in the building and there's even a watch party outside anticipating perhaps a performance from you guys later on. So do you guys have a message that you want to share to all your fans out there?
We love you so much, Orchids. Thank you so much. We love you.
I feel like I was converted into an orchid.
I feel like an orchid too now.
Yep.
All right. Jadi untuk semuanya, untuk teman-teman, jangan kemana-mana setelah game yang ketiga karena hari ini di Tenis Indoor Senayan akan ada special performance yang akan dibawakan oleh Nona. Jadi for every viewer out there, whether you're watching in the venue or back at home, don't go anywhere after game number 3 because there is going to be a special, amazing performance exclusive for you guys by Nona later on.
That's right. And now we have it. Thank you so much for joining us here on stage, Nona. It's been a pleasure to be able
to
exchange some questions with you. And I think you could see our players right behind us already, Eterna. So thank you so much once again. And I believe it's time we now resume the grand finals here at the N7 World Championship.
Thank you very much to Eterna, Brigida, as well as Nona. And hey, we'll see whether that's going to be enough for Alter Ego to get their mojo back.
I think they sprinkled a little bit of wisdom in there. Right now, as we see the performance of AE really just depend on their mid trio so much. Maybe Hijime should be looking for another or maybe an off-pick mage like Esmeralda.
Ooh, but eventually there will be a trade between Eve and Jushin again. I feel like if Alter Ego eventually gets to the first pick, they will reconsider the Grok. Or maybe just totally let go of the Jushin if the Grok is available. Maybe just first pick it. I don't really remember if Alec actually likes to play the Grok.
Oh, he likes it. He likes it. He's got a few MVP performances on that Grok. And now the fans' prediction, and actually quite close here, Aurora Philippines 57% and Alter Ego at 43%. Again, showing how their entire journey here has been quite close. But again, in terms of preparation, it does seem like Alter Ego might have shown too much of their hand because it does seem like Aurora Philippines understand how to draft against them.
I don't know if it's a limiting factor for the side of Alter Ego or whether it's just a draft pattern that's been read really, really well by Dexstar alongside with Coach Master of the Basics, because so far it feels like they've been gotten away with murder for 2 games in a row. Coming in to this next one, I'm really hoping that they've got something else in store.
Look at that, man. That's so beautiful. If only we have at least one. Am I right?
Yep. At least one.
And you know, one would be nice. I'm not asking for 5. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to jump into the draft here. We'll see what map it is. It looks like it's gonna be a broken walls again.
Till my last breath.
Thank you very much, whoever said that. And yes, Alter Ego first pick here, batting out the Harif as well as batting out the Valentina.
Totally different approach.
Hey, this is Coach Zephyr, man. Professor X.
Yep. They will first pick the Sora, I feel like. If not the Leomord, but I feel like, yeah, maybe the Sora. Because if you look back at the previous game, they prioritized the Yuzhong. Yuzhong and Cho was their blue 2 and 3 picks. And the reason why they didn't pick up the Sora was probably because they are afraid of that sudden Valentina pickup. That's also the reason why they didn't do it in the lower stage. So maybe this Valentina signals the Sora pickup. However, Aurora, they're going to be very happy about the trade because now, if the Sora gets picked up by AE, that is Grok and Shin that they will get. So, I think all things considered, Grok is the best first pick.
Yes, Grok is the best first pick. We're expecting Jushin to get picked up for the side of Aurora +1. I think this might just be another Fredrin game coming in if they want to be very honest here, or they could just wait a little bit later.
Yeah, Fredrin, maybe Fredrin and Jushin, the first 2 picks.
I mean, Leomord is still open, so I don't know. In terms of junglers, there's still quite a few.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see them delaying it a little bit. But yeah, I feel like Jushin you gotta take because Rockshin is pretty strong.
So it's the Granger and the Jushin instead. They're not showing their hand yet when it comes to their Demon Kite jungle choices. And if you're Alter Ego, you will rethink your Leomord. It is still pretty good though. Leomord, obviously.
I think you gotta trust.
Just gotta just trust that the process. You have the Grok anyways. You're fine in the mid lane. Maybe just get a Farsa so that you have that Grok Farsa for you.
I kind of want it simple, just like Eve Leo. Yeah. Oh, but the CC instead.
That's the CC that we're talking about earlier. Reef's game. But now, if you're Aurora, you will now rethink your Fredrin just because of both the Eve as well as the CC. So they might just change this up. There still is the Yusen Shin though. That's the scariest part of being in the second phase, where in your jungle choice, if you want to do it red 3, you can easily adjust it. I would favor Yusen Shin here for Aurora, as it is a good hero with the Granger, and at the same time, you're not that scared of the CC at all.
Unless you accidentally get, curtain call together, and then that's a bit of a mistake on their positioning parts, but generally speaking, yeah, there's a lot of deterrence coming from both sides. We're not seeing as many steals as we did in game number 1 and 2. We were expecting the setup for the eventual Sora coming in from AE, but now Aurora has decided, you know what? We have plenty of options in the jungle. Let's pick up the Tro right now, and we've almost locked down the mid lane.
Are we just going to see both teams just choking out that jungle pool? But if they do that, Aurora definitely has the advantage here.
For sure. Especially because they have the red 4 priority. I don't think that it's smart for Alter Ego to oblige when it comes to limiting your jungler options. They might be better off just taking out the XP lane choices, like maybe a Yuzhong, which is still available. Even the Sora at this point. They do have the CC though, which is okay against the Sora. Generally speaking, they have the superior XP lane choice. I guess here, maybe Arlet might be their last option as a ban.
Well, right now we got to talk about the relationships between the heroes here. Eve as well as Grok. The rock manipulation here going up against the current heroes of Aurora. Do you feel like this is already a pretty good mid duo to deal with them?
I think it depends, right? Because at level 1, there is the possibility that somehow Light is able to get a full combination on top of Hijime, and that ends the laning phase almost straight away if the regeneration gets cancelled out later down the line by Yue as they fight in lane. But that's besides the point. I feel like as we are looking at the EXP, the Sora is getting banned out. We're completely avoiding the junglers. Yeah, Esme is something they need to consider, but then things like something that's super safe is Lapu Lapu for the side of Aurora just to get on top of the Eve.
Arlet should be the ban as well from Alter Ego, but I think the safest for Alter Ego is the Lapu Lapu, because it can just achieve so much. They ban the Esmeralda, indeed. But that will mean that Aurora can also benefit from that ban. They can pick up the Lapu Lapu themselves in Red 4, and that will open up a lot of stuff for Dominkite. They can even go for the Joy if in that scenario, especially if Alter Ego will commit to another fighter, and of course a weak jungler, I mean not a fast farming jungler. So I think the Lapu Lapu just fits the bill for Aurora.
The reason why I feel like the Esme is a pretty good ban here, because looking at all the bans that Alter Ego has done, it's kind of protecting Hijime here. So I kind of feel like they talk behind the scenes. They're like, okay, you know what? Hijume's got to carry just a little bit, but that might mean that Arfi is going to carry the late game. Yusachin is still open if they want to go for double fighters. And let's see here, Leomord is open as well in case if they just want to go for comfort.
I feel like they sort of have to take it at this point, right? Because once you take that Leomord, at least then you have a little bit of threat around these neutral objectives, and you're, pulling eyes towards yourself to allow everybody else to kind of play around it.
I think the best option here for Alter Ego is to get the Alice, because there's not much killing potential from around the burst. They go for Alice as their XP lane, and then go for maybe Leo Mord again. They pick up the Lapu Lapu.
For Denial?
For Denial. I think this is for Denial, but that also opens up Alice for Aurora, but Arlet. I think that they're just gonna go Arlet. This is why I felt like the Arlet should have been the ban for Alter Ego instead of the Esmeralda.
I agree, but I think at the end of the day, right, the Esmeralda, I think that AE wanted to kind of be a little bit more flexible with the CC. So honestly, good on the backstaff from Aurora to say, you know what, let's take Fredrin first, wait for the full reveal, and now we have the options of actually going into the Arlet if we wanted to.
Yeah.
I mean, like, going up against Aurora, I would say going up against any team here in the M7 is kind of like, just pick your poison. Because you know it's going to come, but at the same time, sometimes you just got to take it.
Maybe Alice is a better option, but the Arlet's top one, Alice may be the second choice. There is a world where they pick up Terizla because there's a lot of physical damage here from Alter Ego.
That works too.
Yep, but the Arlet indeed is still going to be the pick. Honestly, looking really good for Aurora, very standard draft that they have, but I think Alter Ego's draft is much better, has a better chance this game compared to game number 1.
What about you? What do you think about this one, Gideon?
I think it's going to be a little bit harder. I think that for AE at the very least, they have a couple more options to play around, but so far, based on what we've seen in Aurora, as long as they don't mess up too hard in the early game, their recovery is so good coming into mid, and especially when we come down to late. So many of their composition styles is basically, hey, Playz 5, death ball, peel, peel, peel.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Alter Ego has to win this one, because if not, Aurora will get match point. And we all know how high that pressure is going up against an opponent as strong as Aurora when they have match point. So now we're going to throw it over to the casters, Leo, Trex, as well as Mirko. It's your time to shine.
Till the enemy reaches the battlefield.
Gideon Q pointed out a very pertinent trait that this lineup from Aurora could show up here in game number 3, the Death Ball. We might be throwing back to another Filipino staple strat that won them 2022's MSC in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, Alter Ego is still yet to score a single point in this grand finals matchup.
It's a comfortable formation for Aurora, but I have to say as well for Alter Ego, they finally kind of go back to an identity that they are well with. Fighters on the off lanes, a Leo Mord. They get Alec on something that can make plays, and it's all going to work around this RWM if they can make the catches. If there's a game that I felt like, okay, they have a good chance of winning, I do like Alter Ego's draft here.
So is it safe to say if they don't win this one, we're seeing a 4-0?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to speak in absolutes, but the fact that Arfi is on a fighter and all throughout the series, game 1 and game 2, if you've watched it, you'll know that they forced the same kind of violence onto Aurora Gaming, and the Northern Lights just keep saying no, then that might be it. Looking at the lane-to-lane matchup, Nino here, spots light. Up top, it's the CC versus the Granger. I'd say this is as close to a fighter to marksman as it is to a marksman kind of matchup you could get.
Yeah, I do think Alter Ego in that gold lane, we may see some more rotation, a little bit of action in the mid, nothing crazy, but we might see quicker rotations at least coming from Arfi, which is going to be important, especially when it comes down to first, second turtle. We know how Arfi loves going against these marksmen with a fighter in his hands.
Yeah, he knows the matchup really, really well, so you can already see him winning it out, but for Domeng, it's fine too. I think Arfi right now, it's interesting that he's actually sending the shove the waves. Like this wave before Turtle makes sense, but the other waves earlier, right? Like, he should be shoving now. He shouldn't be trading. And earlier, he should be trading, freezing the waves.
And then he can just run down, forcing a flicker out of Hijuma here.
Uh-oh, no flickers. Gonna be all in on him. The taunt as well. Light able to get the first blood. Yasuke very low because of the Edward earlier. That's Yasuke trying to get in. Demon Kai walks up. It's a late, or it's an early retreat from Yasuke. And Demon Kai just snatches away the turtle from him.
Early retreat and an early death for Alter Ego Esports. Yasuke down. I'm having flashbacks from previous games.
Oh, Light! Able to get away to Dragon Energy Kundo now, all in on him. But Light took a bit too many shots. Still gonna go down as well though, so it's a 1-for-1 in the bottom lane.
The damage on that slam, again amplified by the health you have as a fighter in the EXP lane. You have a respectable amount. 1,000 up for Aurora Gaming now.
At least Nino finds something there, but it's not big. You find Roamer, he's gonna be right back on the map. And look, you give gold plating, you give lane presence over to Aurora Gaming, over to Edward at that, who has been such a star in this series.
They're gonna all in onto Demon Kite, and he goes straight for the Fredrin. That RWM was actually misplaced. Light goes in, a big bomb from Demon Kite!
And now it's knocking two members up. Hijume, no flicker. 0-2-0. It's a double kill for Demon Kite.
Alter Ego in shambles, and we're only 3.5 minutes in. Yasuke 0-2-0, Hijume 0-2-0. The stat board is going downhill for Alter Ego.
I don't even need to look for the ball. There's just a lot of death coming around for Alter Ego, and Aurora Gaming PH are serving it up. Half a minute till the turtle spawn, same spot. I think we're done with the gold lane advantage. Alter Ego have to figure out where else can we win, because Arfi bullying Dominkite is beyond the fact. There's not much they're getting from there.
Demon Kite's the one with 3 kills under his belt. We said it a little bit earlier. Aurora Gaming feeling like they got a little bit of a stampede going. Taking some notes from their brethren, and they really are.
You can say that again, because cover these names, cover the team, and this could be a liquid draft.
Yep.
So what do we do from here for Alter Ego Esports? They've been behind, a nice flicker forced out from Hijume.
Huge.
Aurora Gaming at this point, I mean, Alter Ego, yes, they've fought from behind like this, but normally at least their mid is doing okay. Normally Hijume is doing okay. Normally Yasuke is doing okay. At this, it's only Arfi without a death.
Turtle here, started up by Aurora Gaming. No contest from Alter Ego, with no eminent play either. It seems like Alter Ego have just decided to stay behind their own comfort zones and farm up. Well, where is the farm going to, though? There's really not much scaling.
Exactly. I mean, the CC saying the scaling tech charge coming down, but great reaction now. Light definitely going to be looking for the re-engage now, as that's going to be Alec isolated, taken out by Doming. Light! They do know the way to drag and bring Hijume back, and Doming with a double. Now with a big bonk, Yue takes it away.
Aurora Gaming is hunting right now.
You know, next.
No.
Doming with the flicker out from the bravest fighter! And the recall on Nino's corpse!
Not against 4! Not against 4, El Padre! Ay, ay, ay!
Alter Ego is coming into these fights thinking they're still in the lower bracket, thinking they can still muscle around their opponents. But Aurora Gaming was ready for this. They've been watching, they've been waiting for this.
I've been saying this since yesterday, and it was good when Alter Ego only knew one speed, but now they're on the back foot, they're cornering Edward.
No way he gets away from this, right? That's an all-in, and RP picks up a kill, so finally Alter Ego, they get a kill after what, 3 minutes?
I mean, Light's playing out of his mind right now as well. He always shows up in the nick of time, and he didn't even use his Way of the Dragon on Alec earlier. He gets a kill on Alec, then flicks in and finds Hijume. I mean, Aurora Gaming, it's tough right now for Alter Ego.
Tough is an understatement, especially when you're down 2 games with nothing when it comes to gameplay or even a comeback. All that Alter Ego have scored all series long are little kills, small trades. Some of them they won in the first 2 games, but here, again, all they got was a kill on Edward down bottom and a Light. Trying to get Arfi here, he's gone!
Final slash, Edward takes him down. RWM with no one to follow it up. Now Light is just gonna go in. Try to bait out the flicker from Hijume, but they've already gotten the turtle on top of that.
Here's the kicker for Aurora Gaming as well, is they still have Dominkite with a Sky Piercer at 3-0-1. Who, even if Alter Ego score,
gets a steal, but he gets kicked back into Dominkite. Now final slash from Edward! Hijume low, it's an all into the backline as Nino gets caught up into it all, tries to deal some damage again, a big bonk that doesn't land, but Demon Kite still gets to kill. Doming will try his best to get another.
One by one, they all fall under the boot of Demon Kite right now. Bonk after bonk. He's a tanky boy, but he's still 4-0-5.
It's been a hot minute since Demon Kite tasted victory. He's gone around the world, played in Malaysia, came back to the Philippines, and now here in Jakarta. Just mere moments away from match point. Again, 2-0, and no clear signs of life from Alter Ego. A quick look once again at that sequence. An Aurora Alpha strike, no signs of doubt. Even underneath that tier 2 in mid, they were just counting ults, counting battle spells. Halfway through that fight, there was nothing left for Alter Ego.
And Edward is searching for an FMVP at this point. The guy has made play after play from game 1 to game 2 to game 3. And look at range, Doming hurts so much.
And he's finding his own teammate for it, because Light is doing pretty good himself.
Taking a look at the items. Like I said, we just got a Malefic Gun in for Doming Kite. A 1.4K gold. I mean, everyone's got 1,000 plus gold lead at this time. There's really not much to talk about. Aurora Gaming has multiple, I mean, everyone's an item up at this point.
And who I feel it stings the most for is Yasuke.
Yes.
This is his signature pick. He almost single-handedly made Leomord a threat in the knockout stage. I was laughing at Leomord in the Swiss, but looking at the stats, oh, Yasuke, how has he proven me wrong? But now against a Fredrin, who he's down almost 2,000 gold off of, can't even dive in when he hits that Phantom Steed. He's at about the same stat base as the Fredrin, and that's a no-go. You're not gonna get anywhere with that.
So here's the thing, right? Because Alter Ego Esports, we thought the meta was getting set down in the lower bracket. We thought what we were watching was the answer to everything. Aurora Gaming isn't even changing much of their gameplay strategy, changing much of their picks. They are the meta at this point. Whatever they want, their composition is winning out.
And we seem to be circling back in M3. Singapore, the world saw how you could play MLBB in a different way. The Ubistrat was debuted by Blacklist International. Now Aurora Gaming are throwing back to that. A free lord coming from them, spawning in about 25 seconds.
And who better to lead that Ube strat than Edward and your EXP laner, someone who was part of the creation, who was there for that moment. Alter Ego Esports. We are watching Arfi try to make it to the top, once again putting band-aids on flesh wounds.
Uh-oh. Yeah, he's gonna go for the clear now. But also Yue, the guy there before the combo, before the trio completely left. He was part of that roster too, and now, oh, Edward just flickers out once! Uniso goes for the Brave Spider, the 1v1 will not happen. Edward's gonna try to cancel out the recalls. RP just gonna go for the turret up top, and they're still cutting the waves as the base. He's gonna be targeted out by Aurora.
But there's a Lord at your base right now, and Alec is all alone. They're trying to get back.
RP is already there. Yasuke doesn't have the steed. Lord already at the base right now. As Alex has been caught on the no! Dominkai gunning them down! And it's Yue to throw him back! The base wide open! Aurora Gaming Philippines are a game away from cementing themselves in history!
Your jaw dropped, I saw that! In awe and in silence, the seemingly unstoppable Alter Ego